Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Naples Town Budget Committee meeting on February 26th. It is 6:01. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call tonight in person. Steve Merkel.
Here.
Steve Hoyt.
Here.
Jim Gratello.
Here.
Samantha Hayes.
Here.
Bob Karen's here. From the town is Jason Rogers and Patricia Crisco. Zoom in, Colin Brackett.
Here.
Thank you. All present. Next
Mr. Chair, reminder, if there is a vote tonight on any item, does have to be a roll call vote for all members.
Correct. Thank you. Take a motion to review the minutes from February 19th, 2025, please.
Make a motion.
Everyone jump all at once here.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just so it's on record, I was here in person.
Did I leave you out?
Did I delete the wrong person?
You just deleted me, period.
I apologize. I will edit those
That's
before I
fine.
publish them. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll make that change. Any other discussions before we approve it? Seeing none, all in favor, Jim Gratello.
Here. Yeah, I mean, yes.
Thank you. Samantha Hayes.
Yes.
Steve Hoyt.
Where am I?
Steve Merkel. Yes. Colin Brackett.
Aye.
And Bob Karen, aye. Passes. It's gonna be a long night. I can see that coming up right now. Okay, any old business before we move forward to the new business tonight? Any old business be brought forward? Seeing no old business, we'll move right into the new business.
All right. So, as was stated at the end of the last meeting, it was asked for an update. During this process, we've had a lot of conversation. I've had some updated numbers come in on various items, sharpened the pencil on a couple items as well. In particular, paid family medical leave, I had actually entered it as a full 1%. The actual cost on the town will be 0.5%, as employees will pay 0.5%. So went through that. We also went through the power bills. Our finance director, Pat, she went through and looked at where we're at this year, where we've been previous years, and adjusted those numbers slightly. Overall, they came down. We had more money in one area, and we didn't need as much. We had less money in some areas where we needed more. So in moving those monies around and projecting what we might expect next year, those numbers actually went down a little bit. If you look on the front page, at the bottom, you'll see the proposed budget distribution for FY26, and you see for FY25. The far right is the change between the 2 years. So when we started this budget season, we were just north of $90,000 for the municipal budget. Based on the adjustments we've made going through, we're now down to $57,274 over last year's municipal budget. So it's a $57,274 increase over last year's budget. At last budget meeting, the school superintendent was present. He stated that the 7.9% increase estimate that he gave me back in December, he felt was no longer valid. He said it's going to be between 9 and 10%. So I've adjusted this for 10% worst case scenario. So we're looking at a potential $906,849 increase in the school budget. The school superintendent is presenting his budget to his budget committee on Monday. And on Tuesday, he'll be able to provide me a more refined number so that we have a better number to vote on next Wednesday. But for planning purposes, I assume 10%. And then for county taxes, as stated, that went down $3,515. The numbers came back from the county, and while they did see a slight increase, there was a $101,000 assessment from when the county went from a calendar year to a fiscal year budget. So that was paid over a 3-year period. That payment is no longer required. I verified that. So that reduced the county budget from my original estimate by $100,000. So with that reduction in that 1/3 assessment, plus the increase that came in the county taxes, the net difference was a decrease in county taxes from last year by $3,515. So, right now, we're looking at a 9.79 mill rate. Again, this is not a final number, so don't anyone publish that. I'll make sure that I communicate with Bridgeton News so that it doesn't get published, because none of that gets published.
That ain't gonna do you any good.
Until we go to commitment, and I'm able to sit down with the assessor, I won't have the final number until we get to commitment. When we go through budget, we'll have an estimated number, but the final number comes out when we do commitment. The other adjustment, what drove down that 9.79 number is there's a budget category in here for capital improvements. It's about $103,000. What I'm suggesting is that we apply $103,160 out of the unfunded balance, or also commonly known as the general fund, to fund capital improvements this year, and that'll help offset the taxes and keep us at the 9.79. If we don't pay for that out of the unfunded balance, the projected mill rate will be approximately 9.85. When we get to that section, I've got a note in there that you can see. So as we go through this, as you know, the budget committee sharpens their pencil and review each one of these sections, we will annotate any of the budget committee recommendations. All right, and then when you vote on Wednesday, that's what you will vote on. I'll have my recommendations, I'll have the budget committee recommendations. That's what you will vote on going forward, and that's what the select board will see. They'll see what I recommended, what you recommended, and then they can pivot from there. All right.
Any questions for Jason before we move forward? Colin, you good?
Well, so many questions, but we'll get there.
So many questions. There's a big stack here, Colin. You got a lot of time.
Okay, so, yeah, some sections go faster than others, so we'll get through those. So, again, I would encourage you to reference the binder that I gave you, because I know you took copious notes throughout the process, so, please refer to those. Pat and I will both be taking notes on the numbers so we can check each other, afterwards to make sure we captured everything correctly.
Okay, all right.
All right, so the first section is estimated revenues. I highlighted any changes that have been made along the way, or recommended changes that we've made along the way. So if you go about 12 pages in, you'll get to estimated revenues. One more page there, Jim. Oh, no, back one. There you go. All right, so Singer Center, this past week, the before and after school care came through. In the past, they've been paying $100 a month for 9 months for the use of the facility. We recommended a fee increase. Part of that fee increase, they had previously paid for half the electric while they were operating. That averaged about $75 to $100 a month, depending on the time of year. We've increased their overall rent, and we've removed the electric cost sharing. That's it's a lighter administrative burden by doing that, and we really don't, when anyone else rents the facility, we don't charge them for electricity, so we just rolled that all in. So it was a 3-year long-term facility use agreement. The first year is $400 per month for 9 months, so that's where we come with a estimated revenue of $3,600 this year. In the next year, it'll be $500 per month, and the year after that will be $600 per month. So that's the long-term facility use agreement that we came up with, and the select board approved that. The reason they had to approve is because it was a waiver from the standard fees. On the next page,
Wait a minute.
oh, go ahead.
Why is it 3,600? 4 times 12 is 4,800.
They only use it for 9 months.
9 months.
I'm gonna check my math, I know. What you're smart to do. All right, on the next page, we briefed this in the past, recreation, Brian went back and looked at his revenues. He increased the recreation basketball revenues by $2,000, making it $6,700 in revenues from that. And day camp, he increased by $10,000, that's based on last year's numbers. And that comes in at a $10,000 increase.
Everyone following that okay down here? Yeah, good, okay. Any questions for Jason on that?
Okay, next one is capital reserves. No changes to capital reserves from when it was briefed in week one.
Hey, Mr. Chair, I got a question, I guess.
Colin, go ahead.
What are the rules of engagement for tonight? As we go through these each section, if I've got a suggestion or whatever, am I just making a motion, or are we waiting till the end, or are we gonna have Jason go through this again, or?
So as we go through each section, if you want to see a line item number change, you should say something,
Okay.
okay? And then we can discuss it as a committee. And if the committee feels that that's the number that should be in that spot, we'll put it in that number, and then next week, it gives you a week to review everything, think about it again. Then next week, we vote on it before we go meet with the select board the following Monday.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to clarify, make sure I wasn't gonna jump in when I got a question or something, but, I got a vote, that's okay.
Tonight is the night for any questions. So we'll put the numbers down tonight, then,
Well, no, I think if he has recommendations, I want to hear them.
well, they should, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He should, this is the night to say
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And that way it gives us the week to think about it, review our
Yeah, even though
notes.
we're not voting tonight,
Right.
now's the
Yeah.
time to bring up,
Yep. In a perfect world, if the discussion happens tonight, there's less discussion on the night of the vote.
That's
Right.
correct. So you have something about capital reserves you'd like to say, sir?
I do.
Okay, go for it.
Under line 10-070, there's a current balance of 25K for Causeway bathroom facility. We all know the Causeway falls under the TIF district. There's already a line in the TIF projects for 25K. Where is it? Sorry, I'm going back and forth.
Well, but we're not putting any money in from capital reserves into that. That's blank.
That was the
No, but I want to take, I'd like to either remove the 25K or repurpose it somewhere else for a different line item or something.
Oh, you mean the current, you want to try to move the current balance?
Yeah.
Isn't that a select board thing?
Well, it's an appropriations thing, so if you guys want, if you want to make that recommendation, we can. The select board, because it was appropriated for that line by the legislative body during a town vote, it would have to get voted on again. So for, just as an example, not that this is what you want to apply it to, but say paving and road repairs, that's at $185,000. You could make a suggestion to move that $25,000 up there, which would make the commitment this year $160,000. Is that kind of what you're thinking, Colin?
It is. I don't know if it's paving's the right one, but somewhere in this budget, move that 25K and apply it. That'll knock down our current obligation on page 1 from 52K down to, 26 or whatever it is.
Yeah, but you gotta pick a line item. You just can't use it under a blanket for capital reserves.
Well,
And I guess I'd revert back to Jason. If he thinks it's paving is,
No.
he's developed his budget, what he
Yep.
thinks, or if I gotta make my own, I will.
Had no idea this question was coming, so it was a completely ad-libbed example, so that was just an example, not a suggestion.
Okay, Steve, go ahead.
going off what Colin's saying, would it be wise to, because we've implemented the ordinance, the Clean Neighbors ordinance, to use that 25 for a Clean Neighbors, I guess, reserve line? So if we have to go in and clean up a place, we have some money set aside for that?
Yeah, so for those that aren't in the know, so the new ordinance that passed this past spring regarding, or this past fall, which was it was a property maintenance ordinance. If for some reason someone's in violation and they don't clean it up, the town has the option to go in and clean it up for them and then seek reimbursement. But there's still an upfront cost that has to be made. It could be dumpsters, it could be tipping fees associated with whatever's hauled out of that property. So what Steve, I believe, is suggesting is repurposing this line to support the property maintenance ordinance. Is that what you're saying?
Right, and hopefully the taxpayer will reimburse us what we use, but we would have that for the upfront cost.
So you wanna add a line item into capital reserves for property maintenance ordinance
Right.
and repurpose the $25,000 that's under the Causeway bathroom facility into that fund.
Correct.
Okay. And that way it stays in the capital reserves. It's not leaving that general
not
fund.
leaving, yeah.
It's staying there. Okay. Any comment about that from anybody else in the committee?
That sounds like a good idea to me.
Fine.
Jim, you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay,
All right,
we'll make that change.
I got no.
Got a note? All right, perfect, thank you. I got a note too. So let's see. Property maintenance. Any other comments, Colin, on the capital reserve?
No, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else from here regarding capital reserves?
Do you want to move?
Then we'll
Down the
keep,
list?
yeah, we're just gonna go right down the list, right? So everything else is good on that line item, then we'll go to capital improvements next?
No,
Oh,
wait,
that's what I was asking, if you have anything else
right.
on that.
Well, I was saying, could we just go down the line, so I'm just
Oh,
saying.
you wanna go down the line?
Yeah.
Shoot for it.
Okay,
Go.
I have a
Which one?
recommendation right from the start, 20,000 on the causeway improvement to knock down to 15. Because there's already a 78,000 in there to keep fire the way it is. And then knock the building reserve down to 15. Keep maintenance the way it is. Keep paving the way it
You're going a little fast, hold on.
Yeah,
So, yeah, what I would recommend if, is we have the discussion and a kind of a consensus across the board before we
So
move to the next line.
let's do, the first line item you wanna change is the fire station building reserve.
So the first one I would want to change is the causeway improvements to 15,000 going in instead of 20, is my suggestion.
I will say, and Steve, correct me if I'm wrong on the number, I think last time we had an estimate to redo the boardwalk, it was somewhere in the ballpark of about 80 grand.
Correct, and that was
That was a few years back.
6 years ago.
And it is pretty beat up. And where it's,
We do have to do something because it's deteriorated
A lot more.
tremendously, even more than it was beforehand.
But we have a current balance of just shy of 79,000.
When's the last time we painted that?
When we were on the
That
select
was
board.
We were on there.
We were on the select board.
6 years ago.
6 years ago.
It's been that long?
Yes.
Yeah, it was supposed to be every 5 years.
And if you walk it, it is ugly.
Yeah.
It really is.
From the River Queen to the walkway under the bridge has gotten,
Yep. Deteriorated hard.
and I'm not sure we're gonna have to explore. some
Well, you
options
can't,
there.
I mean, you can't fill it.
No, you can't, that's the problem.
We couldn't fill it. We already went, the select board went through that when we were on the board.
Yeah, we
You
did.
know, I mean, the only way to get it back to ground was to power blast it,
Yeah.
and you'd have to, then
Well, that's what I mean, it's just gonna, depending on what we have to do, may add to it, and plus, 6 years ago, inflation of
Yep.
what it is.
But isn't most of the stuff that was done on the causeway coming out of the TIF?
to fund in causeway maintenance and improvement. 38,000's in there for causeway maintenance and improvements this year.
yeah, those, but that's,
That's for the mowing and stuff, right?
so that does include mowing.
Yeah.
That's the annual year-to-year maintenance. That's not a,
Right.
it hasn't been a savings, so,
But it says
That's what-
contracted services for electrical, it says electrical upgrades over here.
yep.
It says sign purchases, repair, replacement. So you think it's gonna be, almost $100,000 to get that done?
I'm not gonna step out there on a limb, but I would say that it's gonna be at least 80, and that would deplete everything in that. I mean, that's what it cost us the last time.
That was 6 years ago. And
6
we
years
fought,
ago.
and we fought to get it to 80.
We did, because we were at almost 100, if you
Correct.
remember.
Over 100.
Yeah,
We
it
were
was-
over 100 at the time. I think
Yep.
we were actually at almost 120
Yep.
for it, and we fought it down 40 grand.
Yep.
I'm gonna say that
We
I
started
would
this fund, with the understanding that every 5 years we would have to repaint that.
Right, but
And-
if you,
and
but
we
if
needed,
it's,
and we needed 80 to 100 in there to do that.
yeah, so if you do 20 grand every
Yep,
year,
right.
then you're at 4 years, you'd be at another 80,000.
Right, but we gotta
Do
do
it
it
every
next
5 to
year,
6 years.
Samantha.
But right now,
Right now,
if
you're
we
over.
don't make a deposit into there,
No, I'm not saying don't make it, I'm just saying make 15,000 instead of
yeah,
20,000.
I'm fine with them.
That's over your, that's what I'm recommending.
Hate that.
So, I just,
Hang on, Colin.
so I understand.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Alright.
Is it your intent tonight to go through and 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, 5 here?
Is that
with
not
the
what we're
un-
supposed to be doing tonight?
No, I have no problem with that, as long as we do it evenly and fairly across everybody's budget. And is the goal to get the tax rate at zero so we don't have to raise taxes?
I mean, I would love that, but yeah,
Okay.
the goal is to get it as low as humanly as possible, yeah.
Well, I understand that, but you can't control school. I mean, if municipal budget can be flat,
If you don't think I'm going to go after that school, you're nuts.
I'm not saying you can, no, trust me. I understand what you're saying, going after the school, but the town only has so many options with the school. The budget gets turned down, he has to come back with another budget, or until it does pass, he's stuck on the current budget that he's at the last calendar year,
Right,
okay?
right, that's why we start making noise here, and make noise in Bridgeton, and make noise in Casco, and make sure everyone votes it down.
That's
No
fine.
one's ever voted the school budget
No,
down.
exactly. And the problem is, they'll
The
still
only
do
time they
it.
ever voted down something is when they wanted to do the school, and they didn't listen to the people, and they voted it down, and they voted it down until they finally got a number that was acceptable to the people.
That was Crooked River.
Right, Crooked River.
Well, and
But the people
that's the game
pushed,
plan,
right,
right, yeah,
right.
is to get it down to a number that's acceptable
Right.
for the people, that's the whole point.
Right.
Right.
I got it. So, okay.
So that was my goal, was to get us down to a point where we can function as a town, where we don't kill ourselves so we can't do anything, but that we are acceptable number for the residents of Naples. That's what I was hoping.
So if we drop it down to 15, so you're at 79, they'll be at 94,
Right, that should
and
be,
that's fine.
that should be good.
And that,
That's my suggestion, if you don't, if you
No,
guys
I-
want 20, we
No.
do 20, I'm not gonna fight you.
no, I'd be good with that. I think it's gonna be more than 80. It's been 5 years, so, but.
I'm fine with the 50.
I'm fine with the 15 also. Anybody else, any comments? Colin?
I hate that sidewalk.
I know, but if the committee passed it, it got voted by the taxpayers, and they did the stamping, so I agree with you. You
I know, I just hate it.
But it's a nightmare, the stamping is a nightmare, and went on for so long of a time for us not to have anything set aside for any repairs for the causeway. Then when it finally came to head, that's why we had to sink so much money into it, you know? But it is what it is, and now we have it, and we can't eliminate it, so we gotta try to make do with it.
Right, and if we go back to
Okay,
the next.
I'm good, I'm
5
just
years.
not happy about it.
Okay, so we'll drop that line item to 15,000, please.
Okay.
And my recommendation is, Samantha, just pick the ones that you have a question about, you'd
Okay.
like to drop, and not go down each one, how's that?
Yep, okay.
All right,
Fire station building reserves, drop to 15.
Yep.
any questions, comments, concerns on 15? Okay, seeing none, I'm good with that also.
Town building repairs to 15.
Can I just ask a question,
Yeah.
Jason, do you have any projects in place for this year?
Big dollar projects?
Big do-
No, I think
absolutely.
last year was the biggest ones. Steve? I'll defer to Steve. I know we've talked about, I know we gotta do some roof repairs.
We have roof repairs, we have, the back siding, we have repairs on the back siding to do, the doghouse over the
Cellar
the
basement.
cellar basement.
Yeah.
And I think we wanna get a quote on removing that chimney as well, right?
Yes, I'd like to, but I will be honest with you, there's not enough money here.
Okay.
For the chimney removal.
Yeah,
Yeah, and nothing with the front of the roof, anything there?
redo some flashing on the front of it.
Okay, so my question is then, the 84,000,
Will be.
it's pretty good, so if we drop that down to 15, you guys are still comfortable with that?
We would be
I mean, just
fine.
don't wanna go above, then you have to ask the select board for some undesignated funds,
No, we'll be fine.
okay?
Because you
We'll be
also
fine with that.
have something else for the office and town buildings and another section for
Yeah.
other type of things, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind, I would be okay with our running balance right now in our paving and road reserves, that I think we could knock 25 off from the future paving and make that 100. If I'm not speaking out of turn, so.
No, you're not. Any comments and questions about that?
Which one?
The paving and road reserve?
Oh,
Future
from
paving?
125 to 1?
Yep.
Got it.
Colin, any questions?
Now you're just cutting 125 to 100?
Yep, for future paving?
Okay. Yep.
Jim, any questions?
Nope.
Okay, Samantha?
Take out the 10,000 for the marine safety boat replacement.
Don't know what's happening there with the marine safety. with the
Yeah, I don't know
select
if you guys wanna move the 75 or just leave it.
board. Well, we gotta leave it, because we don't know
Yeah.
where it's at.
Yeah.
It's already been appropriated to that,
Right,
so you wanna remove the 10,000.
yeah, just move the 10.
Any
Take
questions,
the 10.
comments? Colin? Good?
Yeah, I could be fine with that, so when it comes time to buy the new boat, we look to a lease to purchase program.
Right.
That we could fund the first several years of payments out of that.
And
So-
plus, there's a lot of marinas in the area with under 75 being a good center console boat anyways. For a used boat right now, there's a lot of them on the market. But anyways, that's something to look at, so, okay, drop that down to 0 then. Okay,
And that was
it for capital reserves?
it, yep.
Anybody else have any questions or comments on the capital reserves? Okay, seeing none, we'll move right on. Capital improvements.
So, I don't know what you guys wanna do on this one, but I agree with Jason. We've talked at length about this, about taking money out of the general fund in an amount of 103,160 and basically wiping this out of the bill and just paying this year for all the capital improvement projects, cause there's, 1.6 extra in the general fund.
So that's from the unfunded balance, we're gonna be taking that out of.
Correct.
Correct, sorry, unfunded
Yeah,
balance.
that's okay, I just wanna make sure we're on the same page here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's a great idea to do that, since we have the funds available. I mean, we're only talking 6 projects on here. So if we feel good about it, where we can wipe that out completely, I think we should do that. Any comments from the board?
I agree.
Okay,
In the yellow banner there, you'll see that, as stated at the beginning, that would reduce the mill rate impact by 0.06.
right, perfect.
All right.
How are you gonna install bathrooms and a new septic system at the ball field for only $25,000?
You're not.
Yeah.
So that could go towards the design. My intent, this is the same as last year. And these funds don't carry over, it's just year to year. As we're working on the ball field project, my intent is to tap into these funds for the design, in current year.
Well, then it should say design, not design and install.
So, yeah,
'Cause it cost me 25 grand just to upgrade my septic system for my
All right,
house.
hang on one second, Steve.
I know that we've got kind of a committee going for possible community center, whatever over there.
Gym
Recreation.
working group.
Gym, I'm
Recreation.
sorry, the gym working group.
The gym?
That's,
Gym working
J-
group?
Oh,
J-
GYM, not JIM.
honestly, I will tell you, the 25 grand in the design, you're gonna have to do the design for the bathrooms in there.
At Kent's
Why don't
Landing.
you just no, for the gym working group, for the gym, you're gonna have to combine them anyways. It's all gonna, I mean, you might as well tie those bathrooms into whatever the system is that you're gonna have.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no sense in having a separate design system for those bathrooms. So that's just my opinion.
I mean, that's gonna be quite a ways, that septic system from the bathrooms at the ball field.
Well, it depends on where you're gonna put them as well, though. You know, I mean, are we talking about putting the bathrooms over at the concession stand? Or are we talking about putting them over in front of the softball field?
Oh, so they can be used, but, yeah.
You know what I mean? So if
Still
they
a lot.
are, then you could just do combine.
No, that's a good point, that is a good point.
Go ahead, Steve.
So, see, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we don't use this money in the improvements, it goes into general fund, correct?
Correct.
Does it make sense to move that into reserves? So if we don't do anything this year, we have 25 sitting there for future?
For the gym.
I could make that recommendation so at the end of the fiscal year, I make a carryover recommendation to the select board. I could carry that over into a reserve account.
The
But
select
this is a
board can
proposal.
designate that.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, they can park it in a reserve account.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but this is for next year.
Right.
So
26,
if we
right.
had 25 in reserve and you appropriate another 25 this
Right,
year,
we
that'd be
have 50,
50,000.
be in a
Right.
little bit better shape with the septic in.
Right. Any other questions for Jason on the capital improvements? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on.
Just making a note.
Yep, nope, good to have notes.
All right. So TIF-funded projects, no change to this from what was briefed.
Any
Well,
comments?
except for the information center.
Oh, thank you so
Right.
much. Yes, so the change was made. So when we presented this, we did have the info center attendant attend. We talked about her hours. Originally, we budgeted and in the past, we budgeted for 40, but she says she's more working 30 hours a week, so we reduced it from 400 to 330 hours. And then she had a winter stipend, or we accounted for winter pay for winter work that she did. That mainly in the past went to developing the annual info pamphlet that went out. Since we're not producing that, we were able to reduce her hours by another 20. So that reduced the overall wages for that position to $6,371.
Thank you. Any questions, comments on this account? Colin, you good?
So I got a motion or thought, I guess.
A comment?
Under line 18-469, the fourth line down, band concerts.
Yep,
One was doubled for the concert series in the Village Green, which I think you guys have seen those. It's basically just hiring a band under bands and other entertainment support events committee. The events committee briefed the select board, Jason, correct me, probably 3 meetings ago, I think.
Yep.
And pitched 8 basically events that they're working on this year. I'd like to increase that line item. I don't know if you guys went to Rocktoberfest or the Christmas tree lighting and Causeway lighting, but I think that committee is just full steam ahead in the things that they want to do and try to do in town. So I'd like to increase that to 8,000, would be 1,000 event. If they don't spend it, just goes back into TIF. It's out of TIF.
So are you talking the third line down, bands and other entertainment support events committee?
Correct.
So that would go, you're proposing 3 to 8 on that one?
I am. It's basically 1,000 per event that they run. They're going to do a lot of donations and sponsors and stuff like that. But I mean, you can only go to the well, the restaurants and businesses in town so many times.
So that increases to 17,000 from 12?
Correct.
yep. Any,
Well, should
I
we-
think we'll gain that back under outside agencies and everything. And this gears more to spending money locally to Naples residents and spend money locally.
Yeah,
Yep,
I agree.
yep.
And that committee, I think eventually they'll become self-sustaining once they really get their feet under them.
yeah.
But you know, they were rushed to flash to bang last couple of events, but I think they're really going to get their feet under them this year. We're hopeful anyways.
Okay, thank you.
Comment at the end there.
Question, please.
Yep, go ahead.
So Colin, is your thought that to raise that to 8, is that gonna cover all the expenses for each one of these events? That, I mean, even other departments are gonna incur with these events?
I don't think it'll cover it. I mean, if you go back and look at Oktoberfest, I mean, it became a wash, but I mean, the town had to kick up cash for stuff ahead of the events to try to coordinate and get stuff done. We obviously recouped it because Oktoberfest was a wash, but my goal is they start making money and then they can self-sustain.
Right, and they get sponsors involved that also make a big difference.
Yeah, I was just more concerned as what it's gonna do as far as a total on to the other departments and the cost of those other departments. I mean, cause some of these you're gonna have to employ the fire department to come out and put a crew. Most of the 8 events, my department will have to incur some time, labor, probably not any other expense, but just labor.
Well, labor's a big expense.
Labor's a big expense.
It's a big expense.
So, and all of these are usually on the weekends, so.
So, Steve, is it your recommendation, because like right now under rec, they've got an events line to support some of the events that events committee's doing. Are you suggesting that, you know, whatever it is per department, that we take it out of TIF and fund it wholly out of TIF, or and remove it from those line items in the budget?
I would say that that's probably a start, considering they all happen in the TIF district. We're not doing events outside the TIF district, but they also need to cover all the costs, you know.
But it's hard the first year to know what all your costs are gonna
Well,
occur.
no, but like, next month, we have a bonfire. You know, realistically, you're gonna need a rescue crew, you're gonna need a fire crew on site, and you're probably gonna need part of my crew on site for traffic control or whatever else.
Bob, I just wanna note
So,
that Brian's in the
I'm
audience,
looking
shaking
at
his head
labor
no, I think
cost above and
there's
beyond
a,
the actual, you know, for all of this stuff.
Hang on. Okay, hang on one second. Brian, you got a comment?
Yeah, I just,
Come on up, please, up top. Thank you.
I just wanted to say that that's not the case. Colin, you just said that there's money in the rec budget line for these events as well. They are separate events. So it's with a separate goal, separate mission. We did use some of that money this year to help with Rocktoberfest, because we didn't have a lot of startup money, but just a little bit of it. But those are separate. And as years go on, if things become clearly this events committee as opposed to what we're doing in rec with our Christmas and Easter and those types of things, then we would move it accordingly. But right now, they're definitely that money is for different events. There's rec committee events and there's rec department events. Events committee and rec department. Does that make sense?
It does. I could have sworn I saw a line under your budget for events. Maybe I'm just.
It is. But those events are not run, or none of the money from the events committee goes towards those events. They're different community events.
Like the Halloween event and stuff
Like,
like
yeah,
that.
that's right, our kids' Halloween party, Christmas, all the Easter, the movie nights, the things. Those run through the recreation department. So then, there's very little, if any, crossover on those. We're running into our first crossover with the 4th of July, when the events committee is trying to do some stuff with that. And at that point, we'll start to figure out, that will be like with next year's budget, which we're gonna move some of this money from the events committee over to rec, or from rec over to the events committee, to make sure that but right now, they're very separate events with very little crossover.
Colin, are the events that you're thinking about, are any of his events that Brian was just talking about that you wanted to make sure that 8,000 was gonna hold? Or are you thinking of separate events too?
No, so events committee pitched 3 weeks ago, Sam, 8 events. They're gonna do a bonfire, fire and ice, which is like ice out at the end of March. They've got, Rocktoberfest. They wanna do, holiday lighting one again.
Oh, got it.
4th of
Okay,
July,
so
they're
they're
trying to do
definitely
one.
separate, yeah,
They're all separate from the recreation committee though.
got it.
Those are all additional events.
Right.
Beyond what we were already doing with the rec budget money.
Got it.
So I'm down a rabbit hole.
So it's from the
No.
events committee, not from the recreation
Right.
committee.
And like I said, there will be some crossover, and we'll make sure that money is always accounted for with whoever's running that event. And maybe someday, when they're up and running and we merge a lot of that stuff, and it's able to save money. But at this point, I just want to make sure that it's clear that that's not duplication of money, and it's not in 2 different columns. It's column A is for one thing, column B is for another.
No, appreciate it, Brian. Thank you. You okay with that,
So
Colin?
I did. So that being said, Jason, Rocktoberfest, I mean, it paid for itself, right? So we didn't have to pay the departments. It was basically a wash for the money they got donated and earned.
Not completely. There were some sunk costs with, in particular, the maintenance department. When we look at, overtime in particular, that's something that cost, as far as getting the bands and the axe throwing and all that stuff, all that was donated or funded through either the businesses that were participating or through separate donations. So the preponderance of it was funded, but the labor costs specifically as it related to the maintenance department, we did incur some costs there. But I mean, for a short fused in budget season event, it cost us maybe $2,000 to throw on an event that had a huge economic and community impact. So money well spent.
Yeah, I wasn't disputing that. I was just wanting to try to cover our costs.
Yeah.
Porta potties, labor, all of this for these items that
It'll
don't always get considered.
be an increase, and we'll know more moving forward with the success of these events on where we'll be at for the following year. And hopefully donations and hopefully sponsors come in to pick up, because that's what a lot of these places do.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's all good. So 5,000 was asked for an increase for the 8 events. That'd be 1,000 for each. So that would move that fund 17-462 up to $17,000.
Yep.
Everyone good with that?
Yep.
Colin, good?
I've got an alibi just for Steve, and Steve, this is just a personal thing, I guess. If you could, keep track of all those incidents and incremental things that, as events happen, and Jason's shaking his head, so that'd be mint.
Yeah, so what I'll do is basically I'll do a timesheet for everybody for those events, and if they wanna, if there's leftover monies and they can charge my labor out of that, fine. If not, we'll rack it up to knowing that next year what we have.
Steak and lobster barbecue. Thank you. Good idea.
But I'm not looking at just mine, I'm looking at fire as well,
Okay.
because these new events do include that department, so.
All right, moving on with assessments. Assessing.
Yep, no changes here, that's the fixed rate for each one of those services.
Yep. All right.
Are we doing the rolling assessments now?
So,
It's supposed to be every year, they're supposed to do a rolling.
okay, so I wanna make, I did talk to the assessor about this. So, whenever a house sells, we don't go in and then, they don't go in and say, hey, your house sold for $700,000. We don't go in and then automatically change the assessed value to $700,000. We don't chase it that way. What a house sells for and what its assessed value is are often two different numbers. So when a house does sell, we don't go out and change the assessed value. But the assessor does do periodic reassessments based on any kind of building permits that come in. So if someone puts in a new shed, all right, they'll go out and say, okay, this new building permit, I'm gonna go out and look at the shed and I'll adjust the assessed value accordingly.
Okay, that's not what they said they were going to do when we did the total reassessment of the town.
All right, so
Bob was there.
What did they tell you?
They told us, because the problem that's the situation that's happening in Naples is property values are increasing. So they have this hard stance that they won't go chase sales, which makes no sense. They should have at least a percentage. Okay, we're only gonna do 70% of what the house sold for, because they think it sold over value or whatever. To do nothing is ridiculous. If we're charging taxes on a house for $200,000 and it sells for $500,000, that's ridiculous, that we're not gonna make an adjustment. We got into an argument that night, and they agreed as a compromise that they would do a rolling assessment, that they would look at all the purchases, all the sales in a particular year, and then the next year, they would take that information and they would go through, and they call it the term came from them, not us, called it a rolling assessment, where they would then adjust properties, and it may not be at the 100%, but if 25 properties sold for 50% more than what we had them on the books, then that would be an indication to them that they needed to make an adjustment in that category. So if they're not making any adjustments since the reval, they're not doing what they promised us they were gonna do.
So what I'll do is I'll ask.
I mean, this is a select board.
Right, so I don't think it's a budget committee thing, but what I will do is to inform your answers. I will reach out to the assessor and I will get a list of assessed property value changes that have happened since the reval. And do you roughly remember when that meeting happened, at least what year?
Colin, you were there.
I do remember sitting with,
O'Donnell and
Yeah.
Associates, we sat with them, and they promised us, instead of waiting another 10 years to do a complete reval, that they would come up with this rolling assessment.
and I thought they were doing that, because I've heard people that random assessor shows up at their house, or they got a flyer on their house. It's not a resale or anything, it's just a random house in town.
So,
Yeah, I'd be interested in not doing that.
yeah, rather than go down
Yeah,
that rabbit hole
yeah.
here, let me dig into that and I'll bring that to a select board update, the status of assessing.
Yeah, because you're getting $98,000
Oh, I know.
for a website that we don't have to have.
Go ahead, Steve.
Can we back up just a minute here? to.
Oh,
TIF
we went
funded,
round and round that night. I mean,
Want to go back to TIF funded?
If we can.
Well, maybe just because of you.
What are we doing? We'll go back to
Hang
TIF?
on, he's got one question.
oh no, you can't go backwards. We're ending at 7:30, so if we're going backwards, then we're in trouble.
We are not on pace.
Yeah, we're losing ground here.
Causeway parking and restroom, research for land purchase.
Causeway Parking and Public Restroom?
Which one are you in, Tiff?
Yeah, it's 18-837.
Yeah, it's on the top of the page.
Yep.
I mean, let's be pretty honest, I don't foresee that happening. So does it make sense to ask to move the 25 that's in there this year into reserve and X-nay the 25 out of it for this year?
Just cut it. Why don't we just cut it?
Well, then,
Well, we've already got 25 in there currently.
much like we did with the septic system, what anything he's suggesting is the end of the year we carry forward.
Carry that
Maybe
over.
carry forward into a reserve.
Right, but not put any money into it
But
this year.
deleting it out of this budget.
I don't agree with that. We need parking down on the causeway and we need restrooms.
100%.
So if we don't continue to fund this to the point where we can finally make a deal with one of the
So-
neighbors or
But
something.
I think
I
it would be
agree
put
with
reserves.
Yeah, I agree 100%, but then it needs to be a reserve account, and we put it into a reserve and not into the TIF funded.
Because every year, we're just putting that back into the general fund until we do something.
Right.
So is your-
Yeah, okay, I hear what you're saying, yep. You're saying like, this money we're not gonna spend this year, so it's gonna disappear, we're gonna be back.
It's gonna
in
go to
20
the general fund.
It's gonna be back in
And we'll be back
25.
in.
And we'll be back here again next year.
Yeah, okay.
At least if you put it in a reserve fund,
Yep.
it's gonna be there.
Yep. No, it needs to be there, so.
Oh,
I agree,
definitely,
100%.
I mean,
But if we never do anything about it,
Correct.
We'll forever be stuck at 25.
then I'll forever be stuck at 25, you're right.
So, just so I capture this correctly, the recommendation is that we move this year's 25,000 into reserve account.
Yes.
And that we also take this line item that currently resides in TIF-funded projects and move that into reserve as well.
Correct.
Correct.
Yep.
True?
Yes.
True.
True.
Hang on one second.
Hang on.
Just so I'm clear of this, we can't take TIF funds and just put them in a capital reserve.
No, I can put it in a, let me check with finance, see if I can create a TIF reserve, basically keeping it in the TIF column and make it an automatic carry forward each year, so we don't have to do the administrative hurdle every year of carrying it forward, that we can create an accumulating account.
Okay, that'd be good.
And just for clarification, when it does roll back, it doesn't go to the general fund, it just goes back into the pot of the TIF.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay, just making sure.
Right. Okay, moving forward then to admin.
Did we clear assessing? We're done with assessing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's nothing that we can do.
Yep.
That's a select board issue.
Yeah, those are contracted
Yep,
fees.
I know.
All right, so for admin, again, there's adjustment to paid family medical leave. I brought that down to 0.5% instead of the full 1%.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the town shouldn't be paying for it.
Next page,
Okay, hang on, anyone questions, everyone good with admin?
Hold on.
Hold on.
That's why I'm asking, I am holding. You should have all your notes.
I know, I do, but he moved things.
He
It's not my fault. He moved it. Legal fees, I wanted to, did you change the legal fees? Or am I on the wrong one?
Legal expense, he's got it 15, he's got it down to 13,000.
Yeah, I went
Proposed.
to 10. 10,000 instead of 13.
And do we have a number, Jason, that we spent this year on legal? Rough idea?
I don't off the top of my head, I know there was one property that we've been dealing with that's been at least 3 hours of three billable hours, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I just,
I mean, three billable, you have $35,000
That's
set aside to
$12,000.
Drummond and in this budget in
Right,
its
so
entirety.
it's $1,200, it's $400 an hour
she gets,
for
they got
Drummond.
400 an hour for Drummond now?
They do, they just raised their fees.
Of course they did.
So,
Don't mess up,
I can get you it's not a matter of messing up, it's just,
100%.
it's what it costs.
Don't mess up, don't need them.
Oh, I know.
So it's not a matter of calling and then when something messed up and we gotta handle a legal case. A lot of this is clearing deeds. There's a lot of expenses that come, especially when they gotta do, the deed research.
So I'm asking a question, would 10 be hampering you more? I mean, we're talking 3,000 more. Is 10 gonna be hampering? Was the 13,000 that you came in for, do you feel that's, based on the numbers you've had this past calendar year, that's a good number?
I think that's a good number. I actually moved 2,000 out of that line item over to code because
Right.
code is incurring quite a few legal fees, and they have not had a separate legal fee item. So in order to better capture what they're spending, I moved 2,000 out of the admin account so that they can take care of that.
So anyone have any questions? You want to keep it at 13 or go by a recommendation from Samantha to drop that down to 10? I mean,
Jason, what happened? Sorry, Mr. Chair.
go ahead, Colin.
What happens to that line item? So say there was 10 grand in there this year, you only spend 9 grand, does the grand just go back in the general fund?
Yep.
Yeah, everything goes back in the general fund with the select board approval. But then again, if you spend 15,000 and you only got 10 in there, now you gotta come up with another 5.
Yep. And usually when we balance the books at the end of the year, there's a provision that allows us to go to departments that underspent, and I can move those funds over to balance the books.
Right.
Jason, your burn rate slide, that doesn't track it by department, right? That's just overall budget.
No, it tracks it by department, and everyone's on glide slope for their total burn rate. It doesn't break it down by line item, but total percentage, yeah, we're on glide slope for a burn rate.
And when did they increase their rates?
That came out 2 months ago.
2 months ago?
And you had 3 billable hours?
That was one
Last
example.
year?
That was one example.
There's way more than that.
Yeah. I just received $8,000 in bills last week
For legal?
for legal across all departments.
Stop calling them.
A lot of it comes through code, and a lot of it comes through the clerks.
I would recommend keeping it at 13K. And then, whatever we don't use goes right back in the general fund. I mean, I know I was on the select board and Jim does, we use legal a lot.
Yeah, stop calling them.
You gotta call them to make sure that you're protecting the town first and foremost, and that's a priority. That's my feeling.
Sam, go become a lawyer.
I
Put you
saw,
on retainer for 13
I work for
grand,
Drummond. I saw what they're calling for, okay? Stop messing things up. All right, leave that at 13. Consumable, 2,500. And my suggestion was on the non-consumable, drop down to 1,500. So take 500 from each.
500 from each? Any other comments regarding that? You guys good with that, 500 from each?
I guess where do we stand this year to be on budget with that dollar amount? Rough idea.
Again, we're on glide slope, so we're probably 60%.
Any comments, Colin? Any, Jim?
All I'm saying, I'll only say this once. This is a $6 million budget. We should be concentrating on line items that, I mean, I'm okay with cutting 5,000 here, 5,000 here. I mean, debating $500 is just, doesn't make any sense to me.
Especially on, I mean, things that we use
Right.
every day, toner, office supplies, I mean, you come in and you get printouts, I mean, look at the printout we have tonight. It's, color, toner,
52 pages.
yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying, so for what we go through, I'm a firm believer that that's something I'm sure that's pretty tight numbers, and he doesn't wanna go over it, so I'd recommend keeping it where they're at.
Okay.
Anybody else have comments on that?
On that or on
I
the
agree
budget?
with you.
On those two items? Anything else, Samantha?
Nope.
In that, under admin?
Yeah, I have something on the admin.
That's why I'm asking, Mr. Gratello, go ahead.
So 2 years ago, the budget was 422,000. 2 years later, it's up to 579,000, so there's been a $150,000 increase. We had one finance director 2 years ago, and the argument was from the auditors that the bookkeeping needed to be improved, and then all of a sudden, we ended up with a deputy finance director. It was my understanding when I was on the select board at that time that we were gonna hire a deputy finance director because the current finance director was getting ready to retire, and we wanted to make that transition and resolve the issues with the auditor. Is the deputy finance director retiring anytime soon? Or is that plan has changed?
Last I spoke with her, she's planning to work a couple more years. We have already made the administrative transition to where Tricia Crisco has become the finance director, and Harriet Libby has become the deputy finance director, so that we can aid in that transition.
So is it the,
Different columns, but
is it my understanding, is it the understanding that when the deputy finance director retires, that we're gonna be hiring a bookkeeper and not another finance director? Is that the plan? Because we don't need two finance directors in this town. It's too small. There's no way we need to pay for two finance directors.
so another person will fill that seat. The job title be a deputy finance director or bookkeeper. The functions are essentially accounts payable, accounts receivable, payroll, things like that. So the position will always be there. But when Harriet eventually does retire, whenever that is, we will hire in, obviously at a lesser rate. Harriet's got 12 years, almost 12 years with the town, so her longevity, puts her salary where it is. But obviously when we hire someone new in, it'd be at a lesser rate than what she's getting now.
Right, the continued problem that I have is 2 years ago, we had 8 less people in this building than we have today. And the town hasn't grown substantially, the work has not grown substantially. And the problem, the biggest mistake, and I was part of that, and I regret it, the biggest mistake we ever made was 2 years ago, we agreed to put $100,000 aside to hire some additional help to help town hall. That turned into $300,000 over that 2-year period, because every single department all of a sudden wanted another full-time person. And there's no more team sharing, there's no more, back years ago, during our busy season in the summer, there were other people in other departments that would help out the clerk's office. That does not exist anymore. There's no more team sharing. It's everyone has their own fiefdom, everyone has their own department, and in turn, we've grown the budget. So, I'm gonna ask that question with every single department, because if we're gonna have 8 additional people over a 2-year period, then we damn well should be open 5 days a week, because you have enough staff so we can still have a 4-day work week. I'm not opposed to a 4-day work week. You can still have a 4-day work week, but this building should be open 5 days a week with the amount of staff that we have in the building. That's my comment. I will move on. I will move on.
Okay. Yes, Steve?
Just got a question for knowledge. Do we know what the population roughly increase was in the past 2 to 3 years? Rough number, how much we've grown?
Based on just what, I think Steve's received like 75 driveway entrance permits this past year. The last census was a few years back, so that had us at 3,973 or 978, I think it was.
There's
So
no
ba-
increase.
So based on that, with the driveway entrance permits, we're probably, if I extrapolated that, probably 100 to 150, somewhere in that. Again, rough guess, because I don't have the hard numbers.
I don't have the hard numbers either, but I would say that it's way more than that based off of registered voters.
Okay, so that's more than 120 people. So, just by the numbers you're saying. Okay. Okay, any other questions for admin? Nope. Colin?
So I've got a question, and it's for clarity, and it starts here, but it goes through almost every department. Cell phone and internet. I can't for the life of me figure this out. The admin's got 1,800 for cell phones, the fire's got 1,200, code's got 1,200, maintenance got 900, and rec's got 600. I can't for the life of me figure it out per person or per internet, how it equates and what the number is. On a side note, I asked Jason to look into getting a cell phone plan so that we're not giving stipends, and the phone stays with the department and stays with the desk as a coop plan, which is continuing operations, so that if somebody's on leave or somebody leaves, that phone is still available for usage, versus if somebody leaves, take the chief, for instance, nobody's calling the chief's cell phone, and he no longer works for us. Not that I'm saying he should leave, chief, I can see you. But, Jason, I don't know if you can provide clarity to me or not, but the numbers are just, when I put them on paper, I can't make sense of it.
Yeah, so the department heads get a $25 or $50 stipend for their use of their personal cell phone
Per month?
per month. And that's based on what I get, per my contract,
Just the department heads?
just the department heads. Now, I do give a $25 stipend for the code officers, because when they're out on scene, they are doing work on their personal cell phones. I have discussed with our IT guy about, could we get Wi-Fi or LTE enabled or 5G enabled tablets for the code officers? That's gonna come at a substantial cost. Those are almost $1,000 a pop. So I didn't wanna go down that path. The way that, as you're seeing in the budget though, is department heads get $50 a month, so that's $600 a year. Plus a $25 internet stipend. I can't tell you how many times, the department heads, I've either, the ones that are salaried, and Steve that, much to my dismay is, looking up things at home online. He does do town work occasionally while he's at home. The stipend is to cover the use of their personally paid for items, their cell phones and their internet when doing town work.
What's the internet stipend?
Because if they're at home on their
No, what is the,
$25.
so $50 then 25?
Correct.
For department heads only? Except for the code?
Except for code.
You need to clarify that.
Go ahead, Steve.
Sorry, I know I'm speaking as a department head, but you need to clarify that, because that's, if you have a town cell phone, you don't get the $25
Yes,
a month.
correct. So there are a couple
You
folks
only
that
get
do
the
have
$25
town
a
cell phones.
month for,
There we go. That's clarification.
yeah.
So you have a town cell phone, so you
I
don't get
have
the
a town cell phone,
so you don't get the 50 a
and you
month.
pay me $25 a month to use my internet at home when I work until 8 o'clock at night.
So based on your question the other day, as far as looking into what a business plan would be with our current cell phone provider, Pat and I talked about that this week. It's just, we have not gotten to that answer yet.
Well, yeah, the problem with that, Colin, if you do that, then people have to carry around two phones.
I had to carry 3.
What?
He said I
I had to carry 3 with some certain jobs.
I share.
I personally don't think $50 a month is unreasonable. Whatever plan you have, it's not gonna be less than $50 a month, so we're getting a good deal. And, for them to carry two phones around,
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
no.
No, well, neither
I
am
know,
but
I
I'm
know.
different.
Any other comments for the
My,
admin?
my issue would be if they never answered it when we called them. That would be the issue. As long as they're answering the phone when the town manager is calling them, then I don't have a problem. If they don't answer it, then yeah, that's an issue.
Okay, any other comment moving forward with admin? Okay, seeing none, move right into clerk and tax collector.
All right, so since we last talked, I did not have any changes to clerk and tax collector since this was briefed. With the exception of paid family medical leave, that was again adjusted.
Okay. Any comments? Jim, I know, it's a standing comment, Jim, I know. I mean, it's been noted 100 times. You would like to say it again? You're more than welcome to if you'd
I
like.
said I was only gonna say it once.
Okay,
I'll just say ditto to this department.
gotcha. Samantha? Okay, moving on to boards and committees. Sort of a set number there.
Yep. No change
No
other than the
changes.
inclusion of paid family medical leave.
Yep. Any comments there, Colin?
Nope, I'm good.
Anybody else? Everyone else good? Okay, moving on to CEO and planning.
All right, so this is the first place you're gonna see this. So, in the last few weeks, last few months, I've been giving some thought to a reorganization idea. In the past, we've only had one code officer in code. Randy's been with us, our second code officer, for about a year now. Code already does permitting, so the thought is bringing the harbor master function and those administrative tasks, specifically the management of mooring fields and permitting those, into the code office. There's a synergy that happens there, as it is a permitting body. The requirement would be that I would send the code officer to Castine to get his harbor master certification. Sean Hebert, our harbor master, has already coordinated that school, so he will be attending next month. This would be a stipend of $6,000 that would go to that code officer to perform these additional duties. You'll see where those dollars came from once we get to the Marine Safety Division, and how that's going to impact that. So made that change. The mooring info system, I moved that over as well out of the Marine Safety Division, because code would manage that software and the data therein. And then the other addition was also the purchase of the mooring stickers, again, because those would be issued through code. That line item moved over as well.
Questions for Jason on the subject? CEO, go ahead, Steve. Oh, wait, hang on, I'm hanging on. Anyone else down here? Jim or Samantha?
Yep.
Go ahead, Jim.
I would just note that department has increased over $250,000 over the last 2 years.
But if we could note on that bringing the salary from the full-time planner that used to be in TIF, that $75,000 came out of TIF and now went into this department, plus all the medical benefits that went with that employee. So that alone accounts for $100,000 of the increase this year.
That increase was, I won't comment on that.
Chicken.
I never was a big fan of that. You can't
I know.
take it out of TIF. And that's what the intern town manager at the time said they were gonna do.
Right.
And that was ridiculous, and the select board still agreed to it too, which is ridiculous, but that's another topic. Steve, you finding what you're looking for?
Just the cell phones again.
Okay,
He's always going backwards.
No, it's in this budget too.
Oh, okay.
But so your department head has a phone, and then I assume the two code the officers have phone, reimbursement. You got 15 for this. How many in admin have phones, and you got 18 in that? Should that be, is that right?
No, so it's not just cell phones, it's other phone services, because admin also has to pay so we do have digital lines through Spectrum, but we also have to maintain an analog line for the fax machine, so that gets paid for out of admin as well. That's in that line. I can split it out better to make it more clear.
No, I just was making sure that the 15 for code was adequate.
Yep.
okay. Any other questions? Colin, you good?
Yeah, but Steve, I'm good, but Steve, it's 12 for the town manager's recommendation on that line, not 1,500. So the department wanted 15, town manager's recommendation. Well,
I see that.
Right. Thanks for bringing that up, Colin.
no, just clarity, I just wanna make sure we're on the same page,
Okay,
because I'm not sure what we're on.
no, we're good. All right, then moving, no other questions, moving down to TIF-funded debt service.
All right, these are fixed based on the bonds that we have out, so
We can't change that, huh?
no ability to change that.
All right.
And Jason, just to confirm, we can't pay down any of those early and get rid of some interest, right? We're gonna
Correct.
pay interest in principal no matter what.
Yeah, if they're MMA loans, then we can.
Can't do that with MMA. All right, moving on to the town maintenance department.
All right, so a couple changes here. So we moved from the rec budget, so in the past, it was weirdly managed, so the rec budget had $24,000 to pay for Kent's Landing staff. And then, it was managed by the Marine Safety Division. This year, we're gonna make an administrative shift as well, where the maintenance department, because they do have more personnel, they are about the town more. A lot of the tasks down there are related to the maintenance department as far as making sure that the bathhouse is clean, making sure that it's stocked, making sure the beach is policed. So the thought being that the maintenance department will have better oversight, so we've moved that $24,000 line item out of rec into maintenance. The Kent's Landing staff budget, again, that moves from rec. That's their FICA Medicare portion of it anyway. Paid family medical leave, adjusted that from the original input to recognize the 0.5%. And then the next page, electricity, we adjusted those a little bit. Just Pat went through it with me today to make sure that we could call out line by line, because as she gets billed for each building. So this helps her track it and gives a little bit more clarity as to where the electrical costs are going. So it really didn't change the overall number much, just again, more provided clarity to it.
Okay.
And then the last page of that, streetlights, again, this was just a fine tuning that Pat was able to do today, looking at what we're actually paying. And again, she moved funds that were overfunded into areas that were underfunded. And overall, as I said, any electricity in general, from what you originally saw to what is being presented today, actually went down slightly.
I mean, the biggest increase in this budget is the Kent's Landing staff, number one. Then you got a staff, you got your vehicle maintenance went up to 7,000, and another big increase is the field maintenance. That went up to 14,500. Those are your biggest drivers in this fund.
Correct, and since you last saw this, the biggest increase was the Kent's Landing staff.
Correct.
But that $24,000 came out of rec, so it wasn't a true increase in the overall budget.
Right, just moved over. Yep.
Correct.
Any questions for Jason in the town maintenance fund? Any questions, comments, concerns?
Up 150,000 over the last 2 years. Double over the last 5 years. We went from 250 to 593.
Yeah, but the towns will get better.
Oh, really?
Sorry, Colin, go ahead.
Hey, so I've got a question on this, line 02-086 on page 2, second block down. It's got internet for $2,800 at Kent's Landing.
Yeah, so we're looking to come up with a solution to that now. I've reached out to Andrew over at Sebago Fiber. They ran a cable for us from the Marine Safety Building over to the Info Center, and we were able to eliminate a modem there. I'm asking for the same solution this year that'll allow us to eliminate the modem down there at Kent's Landing. So we need to have a modem down there to receive payments for when people that were non-residents had to pay for their mooring or pay for their lunch. So we're gonna look at two solutions. If we can't get fiber run down there, then for about between $700 and $1,500, depending on which antenna we get, we're looking at possibly putting a directional antenna, a Wi-Fi antenna from the Marine Safety Building down to Kent's Landing, so we can get rid of that modem. But go ahead.
And that was my question, because under rec, under line 02-115 on the first page, under section 80, it's got $700 for that antenna.
Right.
Should that stay under rec, or should that move to maintenance, because everything under Kent's is now under maintenance?
Yep, we can.
Reflect, really.
No, we can absolutely move that. When we get to that page, I'll make that note if the budget committee wants to do that.
That also, internet down there runs the security cameras.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
So just for note, the maintenance will go up $700 and rec will go down $700. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Samantha, any questions? Okay, moving on then. General assistance.
Well, you said you weren't gonna cut the little things. That's gonna add up to the big things.
So general
General
assistance,
assistance, nothing we can do really.
nope, that's contracted out to county.
That's exactly correct. Sanitation.
Sanitation, again, this budget went down, no changes since the last time it was briefed.
Yep. Moving into fire and rescue.
Now, they're not gonna come to us and say, okay, now we have to spend $250,000 more because we screwed up the original design over there and.
No, they have 600,000 in their funds they're gonna use to start doing some work over there, straighten that out.
Yeah.
They have a balance
Over
fund.
the 1.3 million we spent?
Well, of course, they always have a fund balance. It's required to have what, at least 300,000? I forget the
So
percentage.
300,000 is the target, to carry the month-to-month obligations. Much like with our general fund, we carry, 2 months of operating
It's an
costs.
operation cost.
So there's about a $600,000 balance in there. From that, we're using to fund the RFID system, so there wasn't a tax burden. And any other minor improvements would get funded out of that. So,
But he was saying at the last meeting, they're gonna
Yep.
use some of the funds, 600,000, restripe it this spring, new entrance coming in the old way again. And striping this way is ridiculous.
The whole thing.
It's a long story. But anyways, okay, moving forward to the fire rescue department.
All right, since our last meeting, I had no changes to this budget.
Any comments, concerns from anyone in the committee real quick? Colin?
No, I'm okay.
Mr. Fratello?
My same comments. We have 2 ambulances on the road, correct? So I have a question. Well, first of all, I have several questions. Number one, the mutual aid, is that a written contract with each town, and that's just a verbal, that's just an understanding?
The only written contract we've had has been with United because they're a private service. And I didn't like the contract, so I refused to sign it.
Beautiful. We're on a roll.
So can I comment on
Yeah.
that though? The state of Maine has a mutual aid agreement across boards that was drafted in 2008. And it says, it gives mutual aid agreements across, but local ordinances can write an agreement to opt out of mutual aid if they want to, but you have to have an ordinance to do that.
Okay.
Okay, but that's the state of Maine, that's under their.
So we're obligated, no matter what, to provide mutual aid to
How I
anyone?
read this, emergency management from the Maine Emergency Management Agency, yes.
Is that your understanding? So, well, absolutely. So I guess what we need to do is,
We charge on the EMS side, so if we have to supply an ambulance to another community, we'll charge them. We
no,
don't,
you charge the insurance company for the run.
we'll
You don't
send,
charge the towns.
yeah, the towns send bills back and forth.
So all those calls that we did to Bridgeton, and they did none for us, the town of Bridgeton got charged every time the ambulance?
United, we charge United.
Okay. And then who's charging the insurance company?
We are,
So you charge the insurance company,
We're
and you
getting-
also charge
Yes.
United?
yeah,
Okay.
Just on EMS.
yes. We don't charge anything for fire.
Why? Can we charge for fire? Because aren't we also helping on
I-
fire?
That's a slippery slope that I wouldn't want to go down.
Yeah, and honestly, that would not be in the fire chief's purview. I think the fire department should be focused on responding to calls. I don't ever want a first responder to wonder, hey, am I gonna get reimbursed for this
Oh,
or
no,
anything like
always
that?
go, but whose job would that
Right.
be to
So that
talk
would
to
be,
the other town manager and be like,
I
hey,
mean, most of it is EMS though, right? The mutual call
Yeah, the fire
mutual call
stuff,
disparity.
when we get on fire calls, when we get a structure fire, it's something we
Right,
can't
right,
handle.
right,
So
right.
we're getting help from communities. When they have their fires, we give the same help.
It's the EMS, so.
wasn't
So-
there a big slide between the fires though too? Wasn't there a huge discrepancy between how many times we've gone to other places versus how many times they have come to us?
It just depends on how many fires they have in that particular year, I suppose.
and there are occasions, it doesn't, unfortunately, the data doesn't adequately reflect that if they get called for a fire, if they get canceled en route.
Yeah, that's the other thing on the spreadsheets, you know, I'll use the town of Sebago. We go to Sebago a bunch, but a bunch of times we're canceled before we even get out of the driveway.
Got
It
it.
still counts as
A call.
a mutual aid call, because we were
Yep.
requested, we have a run number.
Okay.
So that's how that gets filled out.
If we have one ambulance down like we did a while back,
Yep.
then do we still respond to a mutual aid call? Or do we say, no, we can't go because our second ambulance can't run to help you?
No, we'll go,
So now we have no ambulances for a Naples citizen.
correct.
See, I don't think that should happen. The citizens of Naples paid for 2 ambulances.
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
Not a topic for tonight.
Yeah, but so Chief and I talked about this the other day. I said, is there a way in our call history to say, okay, how many times in the last whatever years were we responding to a mutual aid out of town and a call happened in Naples that we couldn't respond to?
Right.
The system doesn't capture that data. By his memory, he can't recall a time that happened. There has been a time though where we've been on a call and another call has come in and someone has had to come into our town to pick up the call.
So yesterday we had 3 calls going at the same time. our first primary truck went to Portland. Mike and I took the second call, and then a third call come in and Casco come over. It was up by the high school. United was called. They were unavailable. And so Casco went over.
Casco filled it in.
The second call that we had wasn't a transport, so we ended up clearing there, going to the second one. Casco beat us there, so they took the patient, but.
We'll talk, we'll talk.
I-
I will accept your challenge.
Go ahead, Colin.
So I got a couple of questions. And this may be for Justin or Jason, probably more for Jason. What do we charge the town of Bridgeton or United, I'm sorry, not town of Bridgeton, United or another ambulance company plus the insurance company when we respond to a mutual aid call?
$275.
Justin just answered 275, but the
To the
insurance
town?
bill varies.
To the town.
To United.
Right, well, I call that the
To
town.
the service,
Okay,
yes.
275.
275
And then we charge
Total service.
the ambulance beside, the insurance company beside for the person.
for what we did, yes.
So, $275 for us to respond to a call for mutual aid. What is United, because it seems like we're offsetting Bridgeton pretty hard. What does United charge for a call when they transport us a troop or whatever, not troop, so, patient? God, my military mind's kicking in. Do you know anybody what United charges to transport?
So if we transport someone from Bridgeton to Portland, do we have an idea?
It would vary just like ours would.
Right. It depends on what was provided.
What service?
That's an unknown question that we can't answer, Colin, sorry.
Because it seems like obviously we're offsetting and subsidizing that town.
Yeah.
Because their ambulance provider is off doing other things because their contract company can do that.
I mean, we
I
just,
guess this,
go ahead.
I guess this isn't a topic for us. It's probably more for the select board to adjust the fee schedule or something or try to figure out that and correct that nut. But I think it should either be a sliding scale after we respond 5 times, it jumps up to a different amount or whatever it is. But obviously we have 2 ambulances and we're responding to more calls outside of town than we are in town. That's a problem.
But,
But that's not for the budget committee, I guess.
I mean, and United is contracted through Bridgeton.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're not even the town of Bridgeton's employee, so we're charging the contracted ambulance service for the fee.
Right, we don't have a charge of town of
I
Bridgeton.
know, I'm just trying to make
Yeah.
that clear, okay? Because we keep saying the town of Bridgeton, town of Bridgeton. It's not the town of Bridgeton, because United is contracted by the town of Bridgeton.
So when you go to Sebago, you charge 275 to Sebago?
Yeah.
So it's the flat
I mean,
fee.
Casco, I just
Standard
got the bill. Casco already
Yep.
billed us for yesterday, so.
Okay.
Or whatever, Monday, I guess.
So that's a going fee for the whole?
Yeah. So, everyone around here uses, medical reimbursement out of Wyndham for all the ambulance billing. So all of our numbers are in line with the neighboring communities.
But I think I agree with Colin, you know, the fact that Naples has 2 ambulances, people are taking advantage of that and saying, why should the town of Bridgeton get a second ambulance or the town of Sebago when we got 2? They just call it, 275 is a bargain.
I understand, like I said,
Yeah.
it's a
That's a
conversation
fee
for
that
another
the
time.
select board will have to talk about. Any other questions on this department, fire rescue department?
All I'll say, Jim, is if someone calls for help, we're gonna go.
Oh, I
No,
get it.
we're not
We're gonna
asking
figure
not to
out.
go. Nope.
I get it.
The job is always to go. Let the town worry about the funding and getting the bills.
Gotta go.
So you gotta go. No, thank you, you're good.
Awesome.
Appreciate it, chief. Okay, moving into marine safety.
All right, so there's still a couple admin hurdles I gotta get through. This is still in, proposal stage. So once we get to, assuming this gets passed, this is how it would impact the budget. So move this, originally we were starting at about, just shy of $21,000 in, annual stipends. Moving $6,000 over to code enforcement, and reducing the, annual or the seasonal stipend for the marine safety supervisor to $10,000. Reducing the deputy harbor master stipend from $5,000 to $2,500. And that covers two deputy harbor masters, but the, I think that's appropriate. Moving down, training and seminars, so we had $4,825, that was to cover three people plus the harbor master going to, Castine. We're recommending that we shift that model to make that an award, rewards-based. Basically, if you have an outstanding performer during the season that's done a great job, that's not yet deputy harbor master qualified, we recognize them by saying, hey, appreciate the hard work, next year you get to go to Castine. So we'll send one person a year to that. The cell phone stipend, that will change to just a single stipend of $150 for the season for the Marine Patrol supervisor. Then the consumable supplies went down a bit because those consumables will be absorbed by code. A lot of the admin associated with the harbor master duties will be covered under their budget. Fuel, notice fuel went down with the vehicle, with our focus being on responding to Naples waters this year. I anticipate the vehicle will be traveling less. This number is based on about 61 tank fill up a week for the summer months, from basically 2 weeks before Memorial Day to 1 week after Labor Day. It's a bit of a, again, this is our first year we're focusing Naples only, so it's my best estimate this year. Building maintenance, that went over to the maintenance budget. So that building will primarily be, it houses our server, so I have to heat it and cool it. But with this new model, with the harbor master working out of code and a seasonal position only for the marine safety supervisor, in the winter months I can keep the building a little cooler and probably keep it in the 50s, just again so the pipes don't freeze, and the server likes cold space anyway, so that'll work over there. The next page, internet software, as mentioned, we moved the mooring info software over into the code department. Spillman CAD, as we're looking at possibly a Naples only solution for ACO, I've moved the Spillman CAD system over to the ACO budget, and the marine safety supervisor, as we're shifting the focus of that division to, be on the water, focus on a safe and enjoyable time on the water. I'm not looking to have them have Spillman access. That we're not going to need it for, as I envision the department or that division moving forward. IT services, that went down $400. I do have to pay for Google email accounts. Those are $14.90 a month. And then I also have to pay for the Office 365 software. M&E web hosting. So this was a legacy hosting system before the town went to our current system, Catalyst. We just maintain that site. So we're going to give the local Sean, it was the local Harbor Master Association? Is that what the 501(c) was? Marine Safety Association, give them an opportunity to buy that out. It's already been paid for this year. They were paid in September and February this year, so give them an opportunity to buy that, but we're going to transition all the pertinent data over to Catalyst. And then the AT&T wireless, that's associated with the Spillman, so it has remote access while they're in the vehicle, and move that over to ACO as well. Lexipol membership, there is valuable training there, but I want to give the Marine Safety Supervisor an opportunity to identify what training can be done locally for his Marine Safety officers. And if I may have to revisit this through other training dollars, if there is a knowledge gap that can only be addressed through this training, but I think right now I can safely remove that. And then, like I said, mooring stickers moved over to code. So overall, this budget went down to, this budget went down $64,696, but some of the funds were dispersed. Overall, the net savings of this part was about $20,000.
Comments, Steve?
The earned time off,
Yep, so I eliminated that.
I thought
By law, you had.
by law you had to to, if you worked, you had to get it.
So they still get earned time off, they get 0.25 hours for every 40 hours worked, yeah? Okay. So, but no other department budgets that, so you bank that, and when you hit a pay week, hey, I'm not gonna work this shift, I'm just gonna use earned time off. So we never budgeted
So we're
separate.
including that in payroll.
That's part of payroll, so basically, yeah.
Jim, go ahead.
This is just a comment. I was quite surprised when I found out what had happened. I've been critical of marine safety over the years for a variety of different reasons. But I'm not sure I would have done this. So I want to make sure I understand. We're going to hire a safety supervisor for $10,000. We're not going to take one of the deputy harbor masters and just give them a stipend to do scheduling, because basically the stipend for the marine safety supervisor, their only role is going to be to schedule, right? What else are they going to do?
They're responsible for scheduling, training, ensuring the boats are maintained, so it's not just a schedule, it's not just sitting at a desk jamming out a schedule.
So we're going to hire somebody separately. We're going to pay him $10,000.
Well, so.
I just want to make sure I understand
Okay.
what this says. So we're going to hire somebody separately, and we're going to pay him $10,000. And they're going to be the marine safety supervisor. Randy's going to get a $5,000 stipend, and he's going to be the harbor master.
$6,000.
6,000. So now we're at 16, and we used to pay 21. So this whole realignment is only a $5,000 savings. Everything else beyond this that is savings, we could have done under the current structure. Everything you suggested, everything that happens here has got nothing to do with restructuring. That is just decisions made by a town manager.
Correct.
So we're only saving $5,000 to make this whole move. I just want to make sure we all understand that. And this is,
Not necessarily.
I'm stealing somebody else's idea, but I'll bring it up because they haven't brought it up yet. I would have thought a better route would have been to consider combining the marine safety, the harbor master, with the ACO job. And the reason I thought that was a great idea, who suggested it, is because 8 months a year, the harbor master really doesn't have a full-time job and could have easily done this other job. We would have needed an assistant, we would have had to add a little bit, but we could have combined those two positions and saved money. The next line item we're gonna look at is $120,000 animal control officer, which is a $60,000 increase.
103,000.
Yeah, I would have thought that we would have explored, since we have an issue with the ACO, I thought we would have explored that. That would have been my opinion. But
So again, the reason I realigned it with code is because it does align with their skill set of permitting. They already do the dock permits, they do the shoreline zone monitoring, so it's an extension of the duties they already do. So,
For my clarification, they don't do the dock permits, I did.
correct, they do, thank you for the clarification, they do the shoreline zoning, and yes, the harbor master does do dock permits.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we're clear that as far as marine safety goes, this is really only a $5,000 savings. Everything else below that line, we could have done anyways.
No, well,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right,
Samantha, anything to say?
I just have additional cuts.
Do you have additional cuts
Yeah,
you'd like to
so
see
whenever we get to that point.
for marine safety?
Yep.
We're at that point.
Colin. So I don't think we should have the 1,200 underneath the seminars and training for this year. We just sent 3 more, including Randy. State statute is harbor master has to go every 3 years. No one else has to go. And we have every single person that we have right now underneath marine safety has a harbor master certification. So make a suggestion, I'm getting rid of.
isn't that 1,200, Randy?
No, that was paid of last year's budget. He took someone else's spot.
Oh, wait, so that's already done.
It's already done and paid for.
So this would be proposed for next year.
Got it.
This is
Yep.
for next,
Yep.
next budget cycle.
Okay.
So I don't know what new talent's gonna come, and again, it's an opportunity to award someone for exceptional performance during the year and give them an opportunity to go to the Harbor Master School.
I like the concept that we're rewarding somebody
For sticking around.
as opposed to every single person just going and
It's a good
sending
it's a
3 a
nice
year,
bonus
right?
for it.
But
That's a
every
nice
person we
bonus.
have on has
I
already
know,
gone.
oh, I know.
And this administrative shift that I've changed is, I am 100% confident it's gonna create some people that are gonna be upset in marine safety. And I can't guarantee that everyone that I have there now is gonna
Come back and work.
come back and work. All right, so I might not have, I don't know how many qualified harbor masters I'll have.
But you only need one. By law, you only need one. And so we're gonna say, thanks for hanging out for 3 months. We're gonna spend another $1,200 for you to go up to Castine and then move on to somewhere else?
So along with this incentive, okay, there will be, much like with the fire department, you know, when someone comes on and they send them to school, they say, hey, look, you gotta agree to take X number of shifts per month in order for us to send you to school, is that correct? So
So with that
that's how,
incentive then
So with
they
that
have to
incentive-
hit that shift first.
so they would have to, if they're gonna get sent to Castine, then they would have to sign a document saying that you agree to stick around for at least 2 more summers.
So then they would have to complete the 2 summers before they go to,
No,
Training,
they would
right?
they would have an awesome year, they would get sent as an award, but if they are going to go to Castine,
They have to
they
stay.
sign an agreement that says, if you're going to Castine and we're paying for it, you're gonna agree to stay on for 2 more years.
Or they have to
or you
reimburse us.
reimburse it?
Yes.
Right.
I just also like to make a comment on that if you're gonna keep your, ordinance the way it is, you're handcuffing yourself. No pun intended, but you're now taking away their authority to do what was requested of the taxpayers.
Okay.
The select board and the taxpayers voted for a staff that had the ability to write a summons for somebody that was violating an ordinance or a law. They don't go to become certified as a harbor master, they don't have that authority to write a summons. They can go out and do courtesy checks all day long, but they've lost their ability, their authority to perform their job.
But isn't it correct to say that you wrote very few summons last year because you said most of the time they had an opportunity to correct what was wrong and,
That's right.
right, so you didn't write many summons at all?
No, we didn't
the
write a
rev-
lot
the
of
revenue
summons,
was
but we also didn't
$100,
want to
$200.
paint ourselves as a place that nobody wants to come to.
Right.
Because it's overregulated.
Right, what
Right,
I'm
but
saying
you-
is
Give
we're
them the
not
option.
writing summons.
Right.
This
No,
shouldn't
we
be a
do-
concern.
You
We
were
do
asking
if we
for
have to.
$4,800 for training, and then you were the $4,800, and then you were getting $200 in summonses every year.
No, but I'm also bringing in $80,000 in revenue. That's over 80% of my total budget.
No,
We were
the
bringing in
moorings,
revenue.
The moorings
No, the moorings are bringing
were
in
bringing in
$57,000.
$57,000.
Yes,
So
that's revenue.
that's the revenue. The Marine Safety Division itself and what you guys are writing for tickets and for violations on the water itself is $200,
$300.
$300.
So Sean, just for a point of clarification, if I may, you wrote over, I think it was like 130 something or 150 something fix-it tickets.
157, I believe.
And those are written on a violation document that would then become a summons if someone didn't fix it.
Correct.
So the process that works, basically the violation, the fix-it ticket goes on a violation that becomes the summons. If someone comes back and fixes it, then we tear up the violation, it never becomes a summons. So of those 154 that he wrote, those all could have become summons. But a marine safety officer that's not harbor master qualified cannot issue those. So for a staffing challenge for the marine safety supervisor this year, he's gonna have to make sure whoever's on the water, that he has a harbor master, or deputy harbor master qualified person on the water if we're gonna issue a violation. So it is a management thing that we'll have to work through this year.
But again, we don't know who we have coming back,
Correct,
so you don't know how many positions you have for that position
correct.
that are certified.
But to Sean's point, in order to make sure that, my requirement is to make sure that we can fulfill the requirements of the ordinance. so that we can issue violations. So I need to make sure that we have people that are capable of doing that.
So I am totally confused now. In one breath, he said we wrote very few citations, summons, and then the next thing I hear, we wrote 146.
So we wrote 157
Fix-it ticket.
summonses or fix-it tickets.
Well, there's a big
But
difference.
three went to court.
Okay, but can somebody write a fix-it ticket and not be a deputy harbor master?
No, because if they don't fix it, then now that ticket has to move to the court process.
Well, can we come up with a new Naples fix-it ticket?
That's up to you.
That doesn't go through the court system
That's
and
up to you.
something I have
accomplish the same thing?
That's something I have to look into. Yep.
Right, we need to do that, or
So there's
We'd have to call Drummond and Woodson on that.
No, I'll look into it.
what'd you say?
Nothing. I said, I'll look into it.
No, before that.
I'll write it
What
out.
did you say before that?
I said, no.
No, before that.
I'll look into it.
The word before no.
All right. Colin, do you have anything you'd like to say? Add?
We're speeding tickets, we're fixing tickets.
You wish, yeah, speedy tickets or
Speed.
fixed tickets. Yeah, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Gentlemen down here? Any
Well,
other-
I just want to go on record as saying, sometime between now and when the ice is out, you guys, the select board, somebody's gonna come up with a policy, because if we say we're not gonna write tickets to anyone because we don't have the authority, then we're not solving anything on
That's
the
the
water.
select, and
We
that's the
have
select board.
20 people underneath marine safety that are certified.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
20 people.
I just
But
wanna
if
make
10 of
sure.
them don't come back,
Right.
now you're down to 10.
If 10 of them,
I'm
if
just
10 of
saying.
them, you still have 10
I
there.
got it. But
What are
remember-
the chances that you don't have one person you can put on a boat that isn't?
Hopefully,
Certified.
hopefully, there's no chance,
Well,
everyone
if
can
you
be
don't,
for
then
the
I
hour.
guess we lose out on $300. So we should probably cut 1,200 just in case.
Hey, I got a question, Mr. Chair, because it pertains to water.
Go ahead.
Jason, the extra harbor master we share with Harrison, is that just for the weekend or is that throughout the week?
The warden service, you mean?
The warden,
Oh, what did I say?
You said harbor master.
our master, the
It's
Sorry.
it's the game warden.
Warden service.
So they give us 40, so I still have to talk to Jason Luce, the supervisor, and find out what his coverage is gonna be this year, because again, he doesn't know how many cadets he's gonna have. So I'll have to find out what their coverage is. The ultimate goal is to make sure that we have coverage 7 days a week. And Sean's done a great job of that in the past to make sure that we have that coverage. But I wanna make sure that the coverage we're providing with marine safety is complimentary and that it's offered, during those peak hours of operation on the lake.
Yeah, no, totally agree. I mean, I'm assuming even if we didn't split a warden, that the state would have a warden on the water anyways, because I know they store a boat here. So we're paying for additional. They don't put one here anyways?
That's
The
what
only
I,
one that here
that's
is
what I
the one
keep
we pay for?
saying, but
No,
everyone
it's
says no.
No, he was never available when the marinas called him, when anyone could, his geographic area of coverage is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. He covers, I forget what the radius is, but
I don't remember.
the presence on the water was nil.
It's very limited,
Yeah.
Colin. I mean, they may keep a boat here, but the usage they use it is
No.
minimal. And, that's why the marine safety was added to have that extra protection on it.
It's a heck of a deal we're getting for 10 grand.
Oh, yeah.
It's, I mean,
Oh, no, I don't disagree. I was trying to figure out the hours it works, but probably not a budget committee question anyway, sorry.
That's okay.
well, the last meeting we were told it was Wednesday through Sunday.
No, that was.
No, that's us.
That's us.
No, we were Thursday through
Thursday.
Sunday,
No, they're
the warden
Thursday.
is Wednesday through
Yeah,
Sunday.
warden is Wednesday through Sunday and Marine was Thursday through Sunday.
And no one Monday through.
No, then
No,
Sean
I was on the
then
boat
Sean
Mondays
said,
and Tuesdays when
then
my
Sean was on the boat
administrative
Monday
duties
and
were done.
Tuesday.
Can I get clarification on how much of the 1150 on line up for the fuel oil, 02350, is vehicle fuel and how much of it is mileage reimbursement?
Well, $860 of that is mileage reimbursement. $1,140 is fuel, and again, that's assuming $60 a week on fuel for the town vehicle.
1,140 is fuel?
Yes.
Okay, so it'd be basically going to fuel?
Yes.
The 150? And do you still think you're gonna need the 2,500 for vehicle repairs?
I would think so for this year.
Don't we have two vehicles? Aren't we shifting a vehicle?
I'm still working through exactly how I'm gonna manage vehicles. We were able to pick up a Suburban through government surplus this year. That has been lettered as the Harbor Master Marine Safety Vehicle. The other vehicle, I'm still working out how I'm gonna use that.
Okay, and then I just wanna clarify that on the Spillman, you didn't move that to ACO, that was already a line item in there?
Right, so
So it was reduced?
reduced.
Any other comments, concerns for marine safety?
You think you're gonna need 1,100 on uniforms?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I got.
Colin, you good?
Good, sir, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Moving into dispatch, set number, nothing we can do there.
Contracted rate.
Contractor rate, moving down to ACO.
ACO, the only potential savings here, that I didn't annotate was the vehicle purchase. Again, not knowing how I'm gonna work the second vehicle from marine safety, that is a potential option, is to repurpose a vehicle, for the ACO, so we could potentially reduce this by $10,000.
What's the game plan here? Like, how do we,
Well, it was either,
No,
it
what
got
you-
voted down last year, and it said they wanted numbers for this year if
Right.
we went on our own. So there's your numbers, if we went on our own employee, 103,000, versus if we go back to work with Casco and Raymond, we're only looking at 44,000.
so do we doctor both numbers as if?
No,
No, I think you do one or the other.
the animal control, that's with the interlocal agreement, the top one there, the
Yeah.
$44,000 one, that's based on what the projected budget is to run the ACO as it is, so we really
Yeah.
can't doctor that one. If you wanted
Okay.
to doctor any of them for the Naples only solution, that would be one you could doctor.
And then we just,
But that'd be an unknown for
Or
the
done.
first year.
Correct.
I mean, it's unknown for the first year what our expenses.
These are estimates based on what it costs to run the
Right.
the ACO for the interlocal.
Right.
Right.
But the biggest complaint with the other towns is we had no major contract specifically outlining the job.
right,
And that was a big concern for us as a budget committee with the money we're spending.
right.
But the contract has been,
It has been updated, and it was signed by the select board members between Raymond, Casco, and Naples. That was updated this past summer. At the end of the day, it's a large geographical area for one person to cover. And the expectation of service exceeds the capacity of a single ACO. And that's what I've gotten back from the town is, as far as the time of day that they're called, the response time, the return of phone calls. Even if we were to replace the ACO with a different body, the problem remains the same. It's just a huge area.
Well, that plus they went to a 4-day work week. Jeez, I mean.
So, because administratively, through the interlocal agreement, Casco manages the hours.
Right.
Per the interlocal agreement, I have influence, but the final determination comes to the town that manages them.
And then the other side is, they're never gonna find an assistant for what they're trying to pay for that position to offset the hours outside of the 40 hours a week to cover. So it's
So with the Naples only solution, my goal, if this is approved, is after we leave the meeting in May, and if this gets voted in, if the budget committee and select board want to put it forward, if it gets voted in, then I would put out the applications. I already have one gentleman that's called me, he came as a recommendation from Harvest Hills, has a qualified ACO, he's interested in the job, would be to shape the hours so that it would be like Monday through Friday, you work 5 hours a day, and then you got 15 hours of flex, so basically, they get paid for 40 hours a week, but that 15 hours of flex is to cover weekends or overtime or something else.
Nights.
But
There you
nights,
go.
I gotta get someone to agree to that. That'll be the,
That's, I mean, talking about it, but agreeing to the terms is
Correct.
different. But the
That's the way,
question still,
that's the way it always was before.
but the question still goes, do we go back to a $45,000 budget
so
for the
that-
inter-town, or do we jump up and say, okay, we're gonna suck it up, we're gonna make the recommendation as a committee to go to a full-time Naples only and suck up the 104,000?
I mean, my personal opinion, I mean, Jim Turpine and Martina had made really good points that the state statute says that, you know, that it's pretty specific, saying like dogs. Facebook has been really helpful for Naples, it seems like. We've been doing a really good job with putting pictures of them on. I know we have to have something, so, I mean, my vote would be for the 44,000 and go with the contract split.
Steve?
I'm gonna be truthful with you, for me.
Well,
you
that's
want-
all, I mean, that's, the whole point is about being
Right.
truthful, I don't wanna.
No, but what I'm.
No, lie to us, Steve.
I mean, you've been lying the whole time?
Public TV.
Pretty much, you know. No, through the select board meetings that I've watched, through the budget committee meetings throughout the years that we've had this, the biggest complaint is they're never available. I understand the dog issue, I really do. It's totally dogs, really, by state statute. But how many cat calls do you have? How many of all that stuff? We have had no control. We've had no say. Well, if you want say, then it's 103 grand. You don't want say in it, and we go back to the same old rule, then it's 44,000 bucks.
But,
I hear you, but who wants to pay 103 grand?
but I hear.
But then, no offense, you don't want the 103 grand, don't complain,
Oh, no, I hear you. Oh, I
Period.
hear you.
But,
period.
but the difference is, I feel better if the contract has been upgraded and it's more specific now than it
Well, you haven't
was
seen the
before.
Have you read the
I-
contract?
No,
You
that's
haven't
what I'm
seen the
asking.
contract.
It's nothing.
But-
It's a 4-day work week.
Well,
No nights, no weekends.
Minus the
Nothing's
4-day work
changed.
week, it's a 40-hour-a-week
40-hour
job
week.
split between
Right.
four
Three-
towns, basically.
Well, 3 towns. Naples,
By
Mascoma.
contract, 3
3
towns.
towns.
That's 120 hours worth of work
Right.
that you're not getting.
It's 13.2 hours a week for each town.
Exactly.
Okay, hang on one second. Steve, yeah?
So, I mean, to me, that's your only 2 options.
Yeah.
My feeling is, I would go with 103 for the fact of, if something happened to my dog right now, for the 44, I'm not gonna bother calling her because I know I'm not gonna get any help. I would rather spend the 103 and know I'm gonna get help if something happens to my dog.
Okay.
I'm a tax hawk, as we all know. I don't like raising taxes, but I'm with the 103. We are getting nothing with the current,
I mean,
nothing.
even if we had an updated contract, and we still get no service from her, so.
The 12, that's what I'm just saying, it's
Did it
12
help?
point,
No.
it's 13.2 hours a week for 3 towns. Michelle? Yes, please. Thank
That's
you.
what you're gonna say.
Can we turn the mic on or off?
I just wanted to go on record too, that we have probably at a minimum 100 dogs in this town that aren't registered that we're not getting revenue from.
Okay.
which could help offset the cost of.
Yeah,
Guilty.
I was gonna say there's several in this room right now.
Guilty.
Guilty.
So I just wanted you to know we'd have more money revenue wise,
Call my husband.
100 unregistered dogs.
at a minimum,
Really?
in the town of Naples.
Perfect, thank
It's
you.
got nothing to do with the revenue, by the way.
Colin?
I'm just lazy, I'm just lazy.
If you're gonna quote state statute, then register your dogs.
Colin, any questions, concerns?
So previously, in the past couple of years, we have been unable to fill the part-time assistant ACO. Is that still the case, Jason?
I talked to Tony about one applicant that he received, he only received one, talked about a month ago, and just really green, worked at a kennel. And was really on the loving and caring side. This job is not, picking up nice dogs. This is dealing with dogs that aren't nice, this is dealing with dogs that, are in a home where someone has died, so it requires a certain skill set to do this job, so we decided not the best candidate and to keep advertising, so. I guess to get to the point, we've not been able to fill the part-time position,
For 2 years of advertising.
yes.
2 years, 2 years.
And part-time work is hard for someone to take on as well, because part-time work isn't, people need full-time paychecks. So, it's hard to get those people that'll take a part-time gig.
I think some of
So is that budget, is that total budget then only really $100,576 and split it 3 ways, it'd be less than 44?
No, so we still budget for it in the anticipation that we're gonna get somebody. So 44,000 is the right number.
Which, this budget's based on the high number, right? Your budget's based
The
on the.
103 is based on the high number.
Yeah.
Your budget is based on the
Yeah.
high
Yes.
number.
So the comment is, and how this is written up, is to go with the 103,807 for a full-time position. We control, we set the standards, we set the job description, town manages it, town runs it. Then you know 100% where you're at.
And similar to the harbor master, they can chase down all these people
I understand.
who have dogs who haven't registered them.
I'm already writing down 3 addresses right here.
How much is it a year to register?
I don't drive my dog. I don't register.
I'll give you 100 to start the fund.
You're at 7.
Go ahead, Colin, sorry.
I'll give you 100.
So, one more comment, we're gonna venture out on our own, or we think we're gonna venture out on our own for an ACO. If we don't find an ACO and we can't fill this position, Jason, you become the ACO, correct?
By default,
Until
yep.
June.
Yeah, till June.
And then my replacement would be the ACO. So
Right.
yes, I have a vested interest in making sure that we have an ACO.
Perfect.
But you don't mean Steve's the ACO.
Negative.
The marine safety.
I mean, I get that the last one wasn't very good, honestly, but
Current.
Current.
the current one
Still
wasn't very
current,
good, still current.
But it's the job, and it's trying to
It's
find someone
the
to take
job,
that
it's
position.
trying to find somebody. There's a lot of complaints, but then there's a lot of complaints of people not wanting to spend the money. There's, I mean,
I mean, the most,
honestly, my dog got out not recently, and someone had a picture of him on Facebook, and I had 15 phone calls within 3 minutes. Your dog is around the corner, and Lily got out somehow, and vet picked her up and scanned her and brought her right back to my house within 10. I mean, it's
No, I totally understand what you're
like,
saying.
I would have, that happened way faster than if I'd called anybody. You had our own, or if you
So-
had part-time.
So a dog at large, in other words, someone not actively looking for, no identification on it, that is, dog at large and violent animals, that is the goal of the ACO.
ACO position.
Because your dog got out of your fence,
The violent.
they're gonna say,
Yeah,
okay,
but how
you
many
know
times
your,
do we have a violent dog in Naples? Like, how many
More than
times
we
does that
would like.
happen?
There's a lot.
I mean,
There's a lot of dogs.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you'd be
There's a
surprised.
lot of dogs.
A lot of them. Pit bulls, oh, yeah.
Cumberland
I
County
can
pulls
see you
over a
get there.
vehicle at night
at a campfire.
and
That makes sense.
arrests the driver of the car that's got a pit bull in the back. The ACO's gonna go get it. Right, well, yeah, anytime, sorry, I shouldn't have been.
Right,
Yeah,
could be any dog.
Any dog.
When someone gets arrested, the dog has to be picked up.
Yep.
It does
Do you have one
have
of
a
the chickens?
Hey.
One of the chickens?
But currently, it's after hours, they won't go pick it up.
All
So,
right.
I mean, that's where we gotta look at and either base our decision on.
Right.
It's 8 o'clock, I make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, good luck with that. Okay, so
just close.
just by getting everyone's input here, the majority is going for the 103,807.
Yep.
From this board, yes, Colin?
So if we're gonna look at that, I just have one comment or question about one of the line items.
What's that?
02-443, $1,000 for wires for Spillman. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I've turned my phone into a hotspot for $6 a month, and I can run my laptop in different countries. So I can't imagine we need to pay $1,000 for wireless access.
That's the same service I think the fire department uses. What's the name of the service?
Yeah, it's net motion
Net motion.
in order to
Yeah.
run this building.
Right.
That's what they charge, spill and run? Okay.
It's like a,
That's a set fee, Colin, that the fire department uses it also.
it's just.
For the laptop or for Spillman?
For the laptop,
application?
because the Spillman application is live with the Cumberland County Sheriff, so it has to have Wi-Fi connection, or it has to have a data connection.
Data security
An
connection.
ACO has to have Spillman?
Yes.
Well, because they have to contact the sheriff's department.
It's $120 at the place.
$120 a device?
A month or a year?
Well, then why are we spending $900 for it?
You only need 120.
So, we could probably reduce that. I can
Probably
look at.
reduce that? We're at 900, 120 bucks a
Hold on.
year?
This is what we've currently paid. Now, I was aware that there are two different service providers. The one that is currently provided, which is what is used by Raymond, because Raymond pays for the vehicle, that's what Raymond provides, and that cost gets passed down. I just took that number straight over. I have not researched what another service provider would cost. I just pulled that number straight over. So if this is the route we want to go, I can refine that before it goes to a vote.
So this is, but it sounds like this is the avenue we wanna go down, full-time. So for the next meeting, we can refine that.
I'll refine that, and I will likely reduce the vehicle
Okay,
cost of $10,000 with the anticipation that we repurpose one of the vehicles for marine safety.
perfect,
So I will tweak that number a little bit, so it'll bring it below the $100,000 mark.
perfect.
And what are their boats?
AC
We gonna
doesn't need a
remove
vote.
the votes from them?
It says annual boat, motor boat service maintenance, times 2 boats.
I'm sorry. Jeez.
Is that from when
God, it's
the
only,
dog
50
goes
it's only
across the lake?
52 pages.
Sorry.
I know.
Sorry.
Okay, that'd be great, Jason.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving down to ARPA, nothing we can do there. Look at that, nothing there anyway.
Nothing there anyway.
Unanticipated expenses,
This is
that's a
consistent with.
line item for the select board,
Yep. It's consistent with
25
previous
Ks,
years.
consistent. General obligation debt, really not much we can do there.
No, that one expires in '29.
Yep, and then roads and highways, the next one we're moving down to.
Yep. So,
Hey, real quick, Kent's Landing, that's another MMA loan, right? We can't pay that off early and get rid of interest.
Nope,
correct.
Cannot.
Damn it.
All right.
You want to fund us, we can do a fund through you then.
So
No, not me.
this one did go up slightly from what was proposed. Again, Pat moved over some of the electrical line items, salt and sand shed, just again, wanted to be clear on where the money was going. But other than that, nothing has changed on, roads and highways from what was proposed.
Well, the biggest increase here is to replace the crack ceiling.
Yes, but that was brief. Again, no changes from what was brief.
But, I mean, that's the biggest onset, if you're looking at a high number. It's a $12,000 increase. Any questions, concern, roads and highways?
Hey, the ditching and shoulders, there was another line item somewhere for ditching.
That's,
Oh, God,
that's a decrease of $10,000 from last year to this year.
Am I wrong about that? Is there not another ditching line somewhere else in the
I
budget?
think you're right.
Is that under maintenance?
Not under me, no, I think
No, not maintenance.
No, I don't see it.
I could have sworn I saw it a minute ago.
I don't see it on the capital improvements,
No.
so I think this is the only spot.
Yeah, I wouldn't have put it any other place, Colin.
I'm gonna find it.
Okay, well, you look for it and we'll come back to it if you find it. How's that?
That works.
Okay, all right. Any other comments for roads and highways? All right, seeing none, we'll move on. Recreation's the next one in line.
Okay, so again, Kent's Landing, since this last minute, Kent's Landing, the $24,000 moved over to maintenance. Salaries and other, as we discussed during Brian's presentation, we removed that $1,800 line item. Paid family medical leave, that was adjusted to the 0.5% instead of the full 1%. Playground maintenance moved over to maintenance. Rec fields went over to maintenance, but when it showed up in maintenance, it was half of that $25,200 you see there. This line you wanted to move, the $700, move that over to maintenance, Colin?
Yes.
Or no, that was under,
It was the antenna, it was the antenna.
it was the antenna,
It
but,
was the antenna one, yep.
It was for maintenance. It was $2,800 under maintenance and then $700 rec. I recommend
Yep.
we put the $700 for rec to maintenance.
Yes, especially for the antenna for the shed down there at Kent's Landing.
Correct.
okay. Electricity, again, broke this out, be more specific. And then, that was the only other change since we last briefed this.
Okay, yep. Any comments regarding the recreation? Jim?
No,
Samantha?
Nope.
Colin?
No, sir. Thank you.
Steve Double?
Good. Before you get to the next page, I need to go back to road.
Okay, here we go, you found it. Okay, we'll see, all right, hang on a second. So recreation is good? Steve-
you know,
Steve?
that end of the table has caused us to stay here a long time.
Okay,
I'll buy you the wine of the month club.
I haven't had a glass of wine since February.
Well, good.
okay, moving into roads and highway real quick.
All right, so, this was probably just a slight oversight. Under
Hang on, please. We can get this moving.
Understand salt, 1,500 tons at $78 is 117,000. I know it's not a lot, but $5,000 without salt and the way they've been spreading sand this year.
Thank you.
And also, at the current, roughly the current rate that we're paying for sand at 5,000 yards actually is 85,000. So you'd be adding, roughly $20,000 to that.
Just sand and salt?
Yes.
So that should be closer to 202,
Correct,
if you're looking at actual numbers.
correct.
Are you still looking at alternatives?
I'm looking at alternatives, but they're few and far between.
Do we have a big pit in the town of Naples we can dig and get our own sand and salt?
If you let me dig next door, I might be able to find some.
Well, the property's already contaminated with salt, so we're good.
Well, it's already ahead of the game.
That's right.
We didn't mix it.
It's already mixed, ready to go.
So I just want to make that, so
Can we make
sorry.
that adjustment, please?
I'll make that adjustment.
Thank you.
Still think Jason should
And
just start.
Jason, just for your notes, I did the sand at $17 a yard.
Okay.
All right, so moving down to two areas left here. Community groups events is the first, which is band concerts, 4th of July, Muddy River, Public Library. Didn't we talk though about moving Public Library out of this fund?
We talked about it.
So they still have to request every year?
I know they do, and they should request every year.
Right, so that's why I think it's appropriate to keep it in the community
Okay,
groups?
Yep,
Yeah, plus
Okay.
we decided to not.
I'm sorry,
have it.
where are we on?
we're on committee
Committee
groups and
groups.
events.
Well, if you didn't keep going backwards, you'd know.
Committee groups and events.
Yeah, number 88.
Yes, 88, yes, sir.
Where you got bands in here?
Band, I'm looking down on the committee groups 88, the breakdowns. Actually, the one that he gave me has band concert, moved to TIF. I was
Yep.
continuing, July 4th, moved to TIF. So if you look at the 62 pages he printed out
Yeah, I
for
don't try not
consumables, okay? Those two have been moved to TIF. So Muddy River Snow Seekers is correct, that's what you see up top there. Any comments, any regards to our local community groups and events?
You guys are gonna kill me at Tricky Pond.
What?
I really think we should take them out this year.
The 1,500 for Tricky Pond?
Why?
I'm not gonna, I mean, it's a body of water in the town of Naples that's self-sufficient, I think you gotta keep it in there.
On the next page, we give 10,000 to Lake Environmental Association.
Well, we're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
It's the next page. I mean, she said she can fundraise and make up that money. She can double that money easily.
I would make the comment that Tricky Pond is the, if not one of the cleanest lakes in the state.
Yep.
And the amount of work that Tricky Pond Association does to around that place and monitors that boat ramp, I think we're hard pressed to take 1,500 from them, Sam.
I think it's a great body of water, and to take the 1,500, I agree. I'm not in favor of that.
I will tell you on the next page, Sam, I'm down to cut some stuff.
There's quite a few, but let's wrap up this one first, please. Any other comments regarding the committee groups and events? 88.
I'd like to make a motion to increase the Naples Food Pantry. She said they were running a $15,000 deficit, even with our 5,000. Would anyone be opposed to?
Connie Medor said that?
Yeah.
Yes, I don't remember.
I don't think I have their numbers
let's
anymore
see.
with me, but
How
much are you thinking of increasing, Sam?
Just bumping it up to like 8,000?
I'd be in favor of that since
Yeah.
I deal with only
Naples residents only?
I have no problem
Very
with
much
that.
so.
Yep, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, because I think they were at a 10 or 15,000 deficit, just
I'd
a
have to
little more.
look, let me check, and see where she's at.
If I remember correctly, she said their freezer crapped out last year, and that took all that $5,000.
Right.
Yeah,
Let's see if I can pull that up here. I'm all in favor of it.
I think it was a loose paper, because remember she came in,
Yeah, I don't think it was included in the five.
Okay.
No.
Presented.
yeah.
Then I should have it, because I have all my loose
I'm in
papers
favor
right
of
here.
that though, Sam.
Yep. Right here, boom, bum, bum. I have all my loose papers.
They're all in my car, I usually
That's a
have.
good place for them. 5,000 this year.
I feel like in her
Prices.
breakdown, there was a.
The net is a $10,000 loss. Yeah, for Naples only food pantry, 100% Naples only food pantry that goes by donations and everything else. I would have no problem going up to 8,000. You good with that? Everyone else?
Yep.
Colin, you good?
I'm good. I was gonna say make it 8,400 to round out that entire page, but
I mean,
I don't
I,
have that number.
8,400?
I'm good with 84.
Let's go with 8,400 across the board with nice tidy number there. How's that, Jason?
Sounds good.
Like tidy.
Okay. Nice call, nice pickup, thank you. All right, any other comments on 88 community groups? All right, seeing none, we're moving into the outside agencies, 89, please. And this will be a fun one, so it's after 8, Jim will, he's still awake, yep. All right,
It's not a wake I'm concerned about.
I'm sorry. All right, who would like to start the bandwagon here? Samantha?
Yeah, it changes. I say we do 500 on Bridgeton Chamber of Commerce. I believe in their paperwork, they say that's how much they spend on a flyer for Naples.
They make a flyer for Naples?
I think that's how much their section is. to
For the
print.
town,
I
for the
didn't
town
know
of
that we
Naples.
were in that.
Yes.
Yep.
We are.
Okay. I agree with that.
I will say, as a town, being members of town, we don't get a lot out of it.
No.
Oh, so can we cut it then?
No.
Okay,
No, I still think
You got me
contributing some,
excited.
but not the full amount.
All right,
I'm excited.
okay, so 500 there. Next. Oh, hang on. You got a comment, Steve?
Well, I was just moving on.
Yeah, I'm trying to move on. So I was trying to let Samantha go first.
We're cutting
okay.
2,000.
I let Samantha go
Yeah.
first.
We're cutting 2,000.
Yeah, you're cutting 2,000. Yeah, you're nutting it down to
All right,
$500.
all right, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
I might lose on this, but Lake Regions, keep them at 35. I don't know if we can do that.
Lake Region,
Television, I don't know if we
you
can.
can't,
We can't
So
change
that's
that,
what I was
right?
gonna suggest is that's more of a debt service
Yeah,
than it is an outside agency.
Yeah, we can't really
I
change
pretty,
that,
I
right?
really think
It's
that
required-
does
this is
not
what-
even need to be in here.
But again, they also have to solicit for funds every year.
right,
So
but the
to put it
service,
into another department,
yeah, you can't.
But we
I would
can't, we
leave
can't
that
change their number though, right? So.
we
what's-
can. They asked for the bump this year because they did have to buy new hardware. Good case in point is this
cameras.
past year, they didn't pay for any of this, but this past year, they did have to pay for, just a few weeks ago, we were having issues with audio getting picked up at several meetings. They had to replace a large number of their SD cards that capture the data. And, so they're seeing additional expenses in manpower like everybody else. We're seeing equipment costs, so that's why they've asked for this modest increase.
Yep, and that's for all the meetings that the town of Naples has.
Yeah.
And everywhere, so I'd say you can't, that's gotta stay at 37.
Okay. Well, if you're not gonna cut turkey, you're not gonna cut like environmental.
Nope.
I'm sure you got another one, Sam.
Opportunity, I say take them out, 100%.
Opportunity Alliance.
I do happen to agree with that.
Any other comments for Opportunity Alliance? Okay, seeing none. Colin, you good? I'm not gonna I'm gonna ask General just to keep this moving, so if you got a comment, please speak up.
You're good, sir. You're just gonna go down the list, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go right down the list with Sam, so we're good, we're gonna move that to 0 then. I mean, it's, yep. Go ahead.
So I have in my notes that Spurwink only asked Bridgeton for 2,500. Tri-County Mental Health.
Tri-County Mental Health, yep, and they asked us for 5.
They asked us for 5, so
Correct.
I suggest bringing them down to 2,500.
2,500 moved down to Tri-County Mental Health,
I agree.
Yep.
okay? Done?
I have Lake Region Recovery Center, I say we take them out, they didn't show up and they're new.
Yeah, no one showed up for that, so that's a no bueno.
Yep.
So, that's Lake Region Recovery.
Center.
They didn't- No one, no one was present at all, and if you're gonna ask for money for the first time, you should be here.
Day
I do,
one, what?
sorry. I did have a question while we're running through these, and Michelle, if you're still in the audience, maybe you know, maybe you don't know. Do any of these companies or organizations actually coordinate with the town through GA or any of that stuff? Do we actually hear from these people, or they just show up once a year, ask for money, and then we don't hear from them again, we don't get reports, quarterly, anything from them, and then we just hope that they're taking care of the residents like they say they are?
Yeah.
They're asking
If you got an answer better than I do, I have not heard any reports from them or direct ask from them.
Same. I know that there's one,
Thank you, hang on. It's all good. You should sit on the
Sorry,
end,
which of
this
the-
end next time.
I know that there's one agency, which I don't even think they asked for, which was the senior aging or whatever.
Center on Aging.
Senior, yeah, they were helpful when we had, some clients that needed help, but as far as like Opportunity Alliance and the Recovery Center, and I have not heard anything.
So primarily, those are resources that are vectored through county GA.
Right.
If someone needs assistance, but that's beyond our scope.
And typically too, when it comes to GA at the town, it's once they've exhausted all sources, so once they come here, they, like, if we tell them to call 211, they may point them in those directions, but they're not reaching out
Okay,
to us for anything.
thank you,
Yeah.
appreciate that. Anything else? Sam?
Yeah, the Day One Youth Substance, they are a new one, but that's the one, the gentleman that had came in with a contract.
That's correct.
So I think we should leave that one. 'Cause he
Well,
did-
I'm gonna suggest, due to what he deals with
Bump up.
and our people, I'd like to add an extra grand to that. That's just my
I mean,
opinion.
he's the only one-
Dealing with Naples kids.
The only one in the state,
Yeah.
so, which is even more since, yeah, so I agree, jumping that up to 2 grand would
I
be a,
think he was the gentleman also that had hard numbers saying that
yeah.
basically they contribute about $64,000 to Naples.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had all the answers pre-prepared for Sam.
and the CEO and the COO, I mean, they actually does combined duties there and drives buses for them and everything, so that's one that you really want to help take care of. So I would agree if we move that to 2,000, please.
Yeah.
Colin, we're good with everybody? Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And then Sweetster, the 5,000, they didn't show up, they're new. I think
one
that should come
present.
out as well.
We got a question at the end table, Bob.
Oh, sorry,
We can finish with that, and then we'll go back.
I thought, I was gonna come back to you, I was gonna finish Sam first. So, yeah,
That's what I figured.
so Sweetster was, and my feeling exactly, if you don't show up for the first time, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you're asking money from the town, you should show up to present your case. So that is a 0 for Sweetster. Everyone good with that?
Yep.
Okay, now, since, you good, Sam?
Yep.
All right, Mr. Steve?
RTP, the bus,
The bus.
that wants 12,000.
This is the one that I would love to cut, but we tried cutting it that one year and
Taxpayers all
Rotella
vote?
always says that they want it on there and they did add
Well, Raymond cut 'em.
weekends.
And they still stop in Raymond.
He
said they
claimed
don't. He
it
says they
all.
don't.
I
Plain
know he
Go on
says
their website, it's still listed that they stop in Raymond.
And they actually do stop at Sunset Variety and pick people up. I've been there, I followed it, I watched it.
I mean, and that's
I would go to,
they're charging,
I mean, we did this
To ride the
2
bus.
years ago. We cut this
To 5.
to 5 and we got voted against.
Yep.
The
what are you
taxpayers.
talking about cutting though? How much?
cut it in half.
I mean, we can always try, and if the town wants it, they can just put it back in. I mean, there's no foul if they wanna put it.
I mean, if
Back
times
in.
are that tough, if they need that extra money, maybe they shouldn't be buying a new bus this year.
Here would be my suggestion is that we cut two. If he holds on to, what did he say, Jim? He was gonna add an extra bus route on Saturdays?
Yeah, and from Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Day.
If, I'd drop him down to last year's, the 10, if they actually follow through with that.
Well, you can't,
I
I
think
mean,
it
you
is-
can't be if, I mean, we're gonna drop it to 10, and then,
Okay.
I mean, you can't say, we're gonna drop it to 10, but if you do add it and we see it, we're gonna add 2,000.
No, no,
Actually, you know what? You know what? What we could do is have the town manager write them a letter saying that the budget committee met and they're willing to fund at last year's rate. However, we want to clarify that you no longer stop in Raymond because we've been told that you still do. And we want to verify that you're going to have bus service on Saturdays between Memorial Day and Labor Day, or the funding will get cut to zero at our next meeting.
Or we just want it in writing.
Right.
We just want something from them in writing.
Right.
But you might not get it from them by next week.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, the taxpayers are paying the money,
Right.
and then if you ride the bus, you're still paying on top of that.
Right. It's not 100% free.
You're not getting 100% free ride.
It's a discounted ride. What is it?
I think it's $4.
$4
Yeah,
for a round
one
trip?
way.
$4 one way to
One way.
Portland?
You can buy a monthly pass, I think it's $35 or $45.
Yeah, I will say he did come more prepared this year than he did last
Oh,
year. His
yeah.
numbers were, I think he had over total of 1,600 trips, so 800, a little more than 800 each way. It's obvious it's getting used, and again, I thought that his willingness to have the discussion about adding an extra stop on the weekends, it was a much more positive presentation this year, I felt.
He was much more prepared. I agree with you 100%.
And he parks at,
The-
on
the
our
Legion.
spot,
He
yeah.
parks at the Legion, yeah. So you want to cut it to 10?
Yep.
Okay,
With a letter.
10, please? Call, everyone good with 10?
Yep.
May moving to 10.
No,
What's that?
I was gonna make the same, I was gonna make the same motion that, we cut it or do something with it, or, he just needs to raise the price of a ticket. Like,
Right.
it's $100 to take an Uber or a taxi from Portland to Naples. I've done it multiple times, unfortunately.
Really?
So,
You can
I mean,
get it-
we're subsidizing people to go to Portland and get drunk, basically, because
Yeah.
I know there's a bunch of people that just do that. It's like,
Better
what are we doing?
than driving drunk and getting in an
Yep,
accident.
it is. All right, any other things for the outside agencies, 89? Those are some pretty good cuts, some good changes. You got all your notes for next
We
week?
did not talk about Historic Union Church, are you happy with that?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
that wasn't the one that came up.
Okay.
It was only the ones that we talked about.
All right.
So I was gonna bring up the Union Church. I didn't hear from Mark this year. Mark Clement, I know he's in charge and runs that place. Last year, I think he asked for a little bit more because they had to do a paint job in there, the exterior of the facility. And if somebody knows if they actually completed that, I don't know if they did, but
I don't know,
I was almost,
and I know they did a
I mean, that-
fundraiser too, Colin.
oh, they did?
They usually do a fundraiser, I believe, the Union Church sends out to all the taxpayers.
Okay.
If I remember, I believe that's what it is, if I remember correctly.
Well, last year, we didn't give them anything.
They asked for 1,000 this year.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah,
So,
and I do believe that the events committee is looking for ways to incorporate that Union Church in their activities. So I think we'll get more use out of it this year
okay.
as a town.
I know in the past, the library's also done events with them.
Yep.
In the past, over the years, which is a nice little blend too, because it gets a lot of the parents to see the church and what it is inside. So, I mean, I'd stick with 1,000.
I just wanna make sure we're clear across the board that we're, being even, like the East Falls Sewing Circle's oldest building in town, that Union Church is one of the oldest historical buildings. I just wanna make sure that we're taking care of the things that really matter in town historic wise.
Right, and I agree. I mean, if he came to us saying, I'm requesting $2,500 to fix windows, you and I are on the same page 100%. Eventually it's gonna come back to the town somewhere down the road, so if we don't take care of it now, we're gonna pay a lot more later.
Correct.
Yeah, no, and I just wanna make sure they got painted, because I couldn't remember if it actually got done or not.
Yep. Any other comments, concerns? Okay, seeing none, that wraps up.
We got intergovernmental.
Oh, that's right, I apologize.
So based on superintendent's
I tried to, Jim, sorry.
comments, this did, go up for the schools, went from 7.9% projected increase to 10%. And I'll have those refined numbers before we meet next Wednesday. And everything else remained the same.
Yep, hopefully he sharpened his pencil pretty hard.
And I did, when I talked to him today, I did comment that he should really make, it at all possible, make every effort to include the SRO as part of the budget. You know, the town has spoken, comments were made both at the budget committee and the select board meeting, that it is a priority. So I know he is working on that. I'll know on Tuesday whether or not it made it in there.
It's not even the boards themselves, it's the public that, without even hesitation, voted in that line item.
Yep.
So the towns across the board say, this is what we want. You gotta have this SRO at the schools.
Yeah.
It's priority, but yet to blatantly keep leaving it out is,
Slaps in the
it really is. It's just,
Well, somebody needs to say that. Somebody needs to say that at the school board meeting, at the next meeting, because you're right. I don't understand why they're willing to fight this battle every year. There's gotta be a reason that we're missing.
well, the reason is,
Because
The
it does.
reason
It
is-
looks like they're ignoring the will of the people.
the problem is CCSO is run by Sheriff Joyce and Cumberland County Sheriffs. They have guidelines of how their deputies run.
Yeah.
And when you contract a deputy, those are the rules they go by, not by Lake Region High School rules.
I know, but I don't understand why they're willing to fight this battle on the hill.
I think
for
it
this
was said
one.
pretty clear by the superintendent last week of what the people want and what they get are two different things.
And,
So, but here's my question, what if we don't budget 11% increase? What if we
You can't, you have
So
no
the,
choice.
What if we don't
The
budget
towns don't
enough?
have the
you,
choice.
so if we don't, say we only budget 7.9.
Yeah.
The legislative body that votes on the school budget, because it is voted on separately, the legislative body, the representatives from the three towns, they voted. If it passes, all right, let's say we only budget for an $800,000 increase, and they pass it with a $900,000 increase, we're gonna have a budget shortfall of $100,000, and I'll have to come back in a special town meeting to appropriate an extra $100,000 for that overage. So I'd rather budget in this phase for the high end, and if they're able to come in under, great, then it reduces the budget impact.
But he doesn't have any rhyme and reason on how he calculates
Well, it's
what
not
town
he, it's the
pays
school
what,
board.
right?
It's
Oh,
the
no.
school board. The school board approves that budget.
No, I know, but the way the way it is being divided between the towns.
It's a formula. It's a
So,
state
so
formula.
that formula is based on the valuation of each town,
Right.
and each town pays a proportion relative to
Determined
their
by the
town
state.
value.
The valuation is determined by the
By
state.
the state?
Yeah, and
So
our,
it's not by the school?
correct.
No,
No,
it's by the state.
Because he said something about
Our property
tax
value-
assessment.
So
Yeah,
our,
They went up higher.
so our town valuation went from 1.38 billion
But
to
that's a state
over 1.6, right, and that was the state document that came out in January that gave all the new state valuations. All the
And
new
thi-
town valuations.
and this supports my argument. The state recognizes that the town is worth more money. Our assessor should recognize that the town is worth more money and assess
And
appropriately.
I will brief that to the select board.
Okay, hang on one second,
That's a good
please.
argument, though, is
Thank
the
you.
state has already jacked up our
Colin, go ahead,
valuation.
Colin.
Hey, this is an administrative thing, and I don't know if this is even possible or if it's just an internal thing, but can we break out the county and the school into two separate lines and we vote on them independently instead of combined, because one does not reflect the other or pertain to the other? And I think there's definitely different views on the county tax, which nobody seems to really care about because it went down, but the education, I think, is a big deal, so I'd like to see them split out if possible.
I mean, you could, but back to my point being that once it's voted on by the legislative body at the school board,
And the county
it's
board.
passed. And then once it's passed at that level, it becomes a bill to the town.
I mean, we're obligated, we have to collect those funds. I mean, the town has no control over that anymore. So state government is, we have to control those funds and collect them for the SAD 61.
So if you don't want that budget, then the residents have to vote at the school budget meeting on that budget. If they don't want it to happen,
doesn't-
that's where the vote counts.
Right.
Hey,
That
Colin.
doesn't make sense to me. Then why do we vote on it at all?
Because it's appropriations.
No, we vote on the town meeting for the money, but why do we vote on it again to approve the school budget if the 34 people in the school board already approved it and we can't adjust it? That doesn't make sense to me.
So when it
Because if
comes,
we vote it down, they have to go back and adjust it.
Well, no, it's not the 34 people. The school budget goes out to vote to the public.
So yeah, the 34 people that,
The school budget goes out to vote.
Yeah.
last year.
So those,
How many?
those 32 people, they showed up for the referendum vote, but we had like 143.
163 that showed up for the vote, the actual election.
The ballot.
Yeah,
The ballot.
So you got the referendum where everyone raises their hand with their card. Only 32 or 34 people showed up for that, but we had over 160 show up for the actual ballot vote.
Colin, just to give you some history, when I was mayor of Biddeford, we did a protest vote, and we didn't pay our county taxes for 6 months because the fee went up, so the city of Biddeford chose not to pay their county taxes. They turned around and sued the city of Biddeford and charged us interest on the loan that they had to take out because they didn't have enough money to pay their bills. So it doesn't work. They have the last say.
I'm not saying that, but I don't understand why we're voting on it twice then. If the school board approves it and it's a bill to us, why the hell are we voting on it? And it already gets voted on in the budget.
It's their warrant that you're voting on. When we go to the school and we have the 32, it's the warrant to be posted that you're voting on. Then the 106, so that warrant is posted for it to go to ballot.
To ballot in
And then
May.
the 163 showed up to vote on the proposed
School budget.
Yeah, so
school budget.
So to your point, look at it like dispatch. Dispatch, their fee came through collective bargaining, and the county agreed that that's what they would pay for dispatch. Our portion of that, the $34,000, that's now a bill. That's just, we're acknowledging that's a bill that we owe, and we're letting the town know that we have to pay it, and so they're voting on it. They don't have the ability.
Right.
If the town voted that particular article down, it doesn't mean we don't have to pay it.
Which I understand, but I don't understand. We don't vote on the dispatch bill again after the town meeting. So why are we voting on it twice? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
If the school is sending us a bill and we
I'm not
voted
gonna
the town
solve this
meeting to
tonight.
approve the money for that bill, why do I have to vote again on the warrant in May after the town meeting? That doesn't make any sense.
Let me see if I can get some more detail on that to explain it in print, because I think with us having discussions on what we think and when I say what we think, that's how we understand it. I'll get you the black and white on it and see if that helps.
Yeah.
that's why we don't set the tax rate till August. So if there's a change in the school numbers, the funding, if there's a change from the state or whatever in the school funding, we still have time to react when we set the tax rate.
Correct.
That's why
Would that be another vote? So we're voting on it three
No,
times?
you guys, select board is the one that sets the commitment.
Right. Okay.
All right,
So,
there's one more
But they're
item.
smart
One more
because
item.
they're smart because you got to remember last time when
What?
they were supposed
The
to vote on
unfunded
whether
that
we
you
wanted
asked
the
I didn't.
SRO or
Yes, you
not. They
did.
set the
I didn't me.
Yes, you did.
freshman
you.
orientation.
okay, hang on. So we have one more line item that Mr. Gatello asked for.
So,
I don't remember
So
it.
Jim Gertello, when we first met back in November,
Oh,
he asked
right.
if we could
I don't
break
know what
out-
happened last week. November?
So,
Oh my God.
he asked that
That's
we,
why you're so
hey, rather than include new budget requests in the budget, he asked that I break it out as a separate unfunded request category that the select board could consider, or that the budget committee and select board could consider going on the warrant. So of those items, what I came up with was, neighboring towns are all going to full-time, for firefighters. Raymond has a full-time firefighting staff.
Not funding.
Casco's growing a full-time firefighting staff.
Yeah, we are. We're funding them.
Naples is becoming a training ground for new firefighters. They come on board, they do their per diem time, they get some experience under their belt, and when a full-time opportunity arises, they apply for those. We've lost 10 people in the past year to full-time positions in other towns. So if we were to convert 4 of our per diem positions, which cover shifts throughout the month, it would, in insurance costs, and additional fees for each of those positions, it'd be an additional $141,000 to bring on 4 full-time firefighters. Putting this out for consideration for the budget committee as to whether or not you would like to recommend bringing on 4 full-time firefighters for the fire department.
This already is not in the budget.
It's not in the budget.
None of these are in the budget.
Oh.
These are unfunded requests.
You do need 4 more full-time firefighters?
I'm not looking to add any more per se, per count of the day. I'm looking to, move from per diem to full-time.
So that you can lock that.
I'm gonna take the per diem firefighter paramedic spot and I'm gonna turn that into a full-time position.
Got it.
So, like I asked earlier when he met and presented his budget, I said, how hard are you getting per diems?
Right.
And he said, we've had shifts covered, we were able to cover everything.
Right.
A lot of phone calls on his end to get people to cover,
Right.
but we've never gone without being covered
Right.
this year.
And I'm not gonna say with full-time that you're gonna keep them. Cause if a better opportunity comes, I wouldn't hold anyone
We
back.
can't hold
but
anybody back.
Right, right.
At least we're offering them something to stay here.
Right.
Got it.
Okay, you wanna continue on down this list, Jason?
Yep. The next one
Do I
is,
have anything else on?
No, you're good.
the municipal, high-speed fiber. This would install through the, Sebago fiber team, it would install for lack of a better term, a backbone down the 302 and Route 11 corridor from just north of the, fire station all the way out to the Casco Naples line, and then up Route 11, to the Casco Naples line. The total cost of this project is right about $250,000. The Sebago fiber team briefed the select board, a few weeks back, and we would recoup this right now with what we pay in router fees through Spectrum. It's about $24,000 a year that we pay. If we had this backbone, we could put a single router in our server, and that would serve all of the town's offices. It would also, by putting that backbone in, it would allow them to expand to high-speed internet for residents. Already be on the 302 corridor in our business district, it would enable our businesses to get that high-speed internet service. The downfall with Spectrum, not speaking ill of Spectrum, just speaking the facts,
Their downfall.
is like at my house, I pay, it's 600 megabits per second download, but my upload rate is 16 megabits per second. What Sebago Fiber offers is parity in upload and download speed. So if you get 100 megabits per second download, you're also getting 100 megabits per second upload speed. Your average 100 megabit per second will enable video streaming in your average household. It'll enable email. It'll enable kids to do online research or people to operate home-based businesses. Once the backbone's in place, like I said, the team at Spectrum projects that based on the number of people interested in the subscribe, they could have the entire town built out in a matter of 3 years. That would be the additional build out would be at no additional cost to the town, but by us putting in the backbone, it would enable the expansion of their service. Go ahead.
And I see TIF has been covered some of this too.
So this could be completely funded out of TIF. There might have to be a little bit of unfunded applied to this, just because it does go outside the TIF district. But we could fund all of this with no impact to the taxpayers.
Does everyone know, question is who Sebago Fiber is? Have you ever heard of them?
So Sebago Fiber is planning to show up on the meeting on the 10th, and they will provide about a 5-minute, brief presentation on the service that it would provide and be available for any questions.
Okay, it's a smaller company. They're expanding a lot. I've done some research on them, and it'd be one to consider for this way, because everyone knows, this area you got Spectrum, you got Consumer, whatever they are, and neither one of them are good. And they're bad, and even when I was streaming at home, I kept on breaking in and out last week,
So-
so.
Don't we pay now on our Spectrum bill for this?
The tax?
Don't we pay?
We pay the franchise fee to the town.
So we get a cable franchise fee
Yeah.
kickback, which comes regardless. That comes through television services, and that's about $50,000 a year that we get from that franchise fee. But what this would provide, like I said, we would, as far as the return on investment, I think it would be a tremendous asset to the town, to the residents of the town and the businesses. If we didn't have to pay for all of our modems, the projection is that within 20 years, we would make back this investment, and the projected life of the fiber is approximately, they had fiber still in service that's 50 years old.
Well, that was my question. So how much money a year are we gonna save on?
We're gonna save about $24,000 a year,
In this budget, in the budget.
If we add this,
if we add this.
if we add this year.
But if this was approved, because it's not related to taxes and it would come out of funds that are already available between the unfunded balance and TIF, I would put it on the warrant as to be immediately funded because it wouldn't be dependent on the new fiscal year budget. We could immediately draw on those funds and they could have the backbone installed this summer.
How much money's in the TIF fund?
TIF fund's just over $1 million.
And we're looking to collect this year in this budget,
485.
485, and we only needed 300 and.
380 something, 340
386.
something, yeah, to cover the
So
TIF
almost,
debt.
we almost added an extra 100K in there for that. Yeah.
And this is why TIF was created, for economic development, and I think this is probably provides the greatest service for economic development and to residents.
It's a lot of things that residents been complaining about over the years. It's just internet speed in this town is just pitiful.
Not even the speed, it's the service if they have an issue.
Then, yeah, getting hold of anyone's another story.
You got a question at the end of the table?
Yes, Steve?
The 250 to put this in, it would then cost us how much per month for the service?
So for the router, for the business is, I believe the number they had was just about, I think it was $100 a month for the router.
Because I guess the way I'm understanding it is we would basically be
town
financing
services.
for
Yeah,
Sebago
so
Fiber.
we're not, we're saving 24,000, but we're spending 100
No,
a month per building, right?
No, 100 per month, period. Because it'd only be one router located with the server.
Oh,
So
okay.
all the
I'm sorry.
buildings, so
So you're saving half.
they would run,
You know me in technology.
they would run multiple strands in that fiber run. 12 of those strands would be dedicated to what's called a black network, which would be specifically for our use. We'd have dedicated use of those lines. Our router service would run on those 12, and all of our buildings would be connected. Right now, if, say, Steve...
Including future building?
Including future buildings. So Steve, right now, if he wants to get on to any of our files, he has to VPN in, virtual private network in, so that he can access our share drive. Fire department's not connected to our network at all. So putting
That doesn't surprise me.
Putting this in would allow us to connect all of the municipal buildings, and we'd see significant cost savings.
I mean, the net savings is 24,000 a month.
Right.
And if we
A
can
year,
do that,
24,000 a
you can-
Excuse me, I apologize.
your telephone services can be linked together between all.
All of our all our voice over IP services, which is all of our town phone systems, would also ride on that.
So technically, we'd be saving more money.
We'd be saving money in modem rentals, we'd be saving money in phone modem rentals, we'd be saving quite a bit of money.
See, this is a select board decision. This is not a budget committee decision.
Well, it's a budget committee decision to put it on.
They gotta first decide what they wanna do, and then we decide whether we support it or not.
So Colin, you were at the budget committee or at the select board meeting, the support from the select board was unanimous. And they were the ones that asked they come and present this on the 10th, during the joint session to address any additional
I mean,
questions.
if
because-
there's no tax burden to the town, I mean, we got funds in the TIF, I would say do it. And it's a no-brainer, plus it benefits the consumers to add on to it for their own house, yeah.
What does the consumer have to pay to add it on to their house?
So so it's hard to give, I tried to come up with a simple number.
Yeah.
But they gave Lake House Road, for example. If Lake House Road, if they had 5 residents that said, it was like 37 residents they tracked on that road. If 5 of those residents said they wanted to come on, then it would be, cost-wise, it'd be worth their investment to run the cable and provide the service to the house. The resident would only ever pay for their monthly services. There is no monthly modem rental fee like Spectrum. They give you the modem.
So what's the monthly service fee?
Depends on what they want. It's scalable. It goes anywhere from the low-cost option. If someone is in a low-income bracket, GPCOG has agreed to manage that criteria and determine eligibility for the low one. That's $30 a month. The next lowest tier is $75 a month, and that gives you 75 megabits per second up and down. The next one is $100 a month, and they'll brief this. That gives you 100 megabits per second up and down. Then you can go, I think it's to 115, and that'll give you, I believe it was 115. It'll give you 1 gig up and down. And you can go as high as 2 gigs up and down.
So you're not really saving anything, you're just getting better service.
You're getting better service, and it's on par with what Spectrum charges, and Spectrum fees just went up. What residents wouldn't get is, and they still could, but through Spectrum, a lot of folks also get television service through them.
Right.
You can still subscribe to the Spectrum app, and you can, if you really want that, you can do that. What Sebago Fiber has found is that most people are happier, or have been happier with YouTube TV. YouTube TV still gives you all those channels. The cost is less than the Spectrum app. So people would not, they could still have television service, but it wouldn't be
Any
like
stream, it's
bundled.
all streaming
YouTube
service.
doesn't give this wonderful channel though.
It doesn't, but you can watch it on Zoom, or you can watch it the next day through LRTV.
Okay, so they're coming to the 10th to make a presentation.
They will come on the 10th to make a
Okay,
presentation.
so all right, so if they're coming on the 10th, let's move on, please, to the digitized vital records.
So digitizing vital records, this was first brought up when ARPA funds came out. I still got some money from ARPA because it sat in there so long, I had interest that I gotta spend. The digitizing of records, I got a quote, it's gonna be about $20,000. It's scalable depending on what I wanna do. I wanna start with the birth records, death records, marriage records and all that, everything that's in the vault. And I can do that with existing ARPA funds, but at some point I need to be able to do the large scale stuff in code. I needed all the site maps digitized. We do have a requirement, based on state records, maintenance guidance, that some of the stuff has to be maintained forever. If we ever had a casualty here, where we lost files, even though our vault is fire safe, it's fire safe for a certain number of hours. No saying that we could lose those records.
The fire department will be here so quick.
They will be.
Just like
How fast
that.
can you put out this building?
You're talking about Casco, right?
That's,
All right, let it go, Chief.
So much subscribers to your show.
So, this is a want, I think after.
Keep me here this late and this is gonna happen.
I was expecting the quote that I was gonna get from the records management company to be a lot higher, that's why I came in with this back in December. But after the quote I got with them, I think I can do this year with ARPA funds, do the initial swing, see how the service went, and if it's something that we liked, and we like the end product, then I could come back next year under unfunded and ask for the funds then,
let's
so.
use the ARPA. We got the funds to spend, it's a good way to do it.
So I'm gonna cross that one out. And then the last one, so, talking with the,
Who suggested this?
Wait, I got a question about the
Yep.
digitized real quick. It says multiple years. How many years project do you think that is, Jason?
so it'd be about 2 to 3 months for them to digitize everything that we have in the vault now. So I would have a good data point by next year to decide, or at least make a recommendation to digitize the code products.
And I thought we were out of ARPA funds. We still have ARPA funds?
We do, like I said, while the funds were sitting there, we gained interest on them, so we thought we'd spent them all. And then Pat said, we still got $25,000 in this account, and we had to commit it by December. And when I talked to the folks that manage ARPA, I said, I'm still waiting on my quote, and I won't have that till the end of January. They said, just keep a track of the emails, as long as you requested the quote prior to December 31st, we can still apply those funds.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah, let's use, great, you got the ARPA funds, let's use it.
yeah, so I'm gonna move forward with that.
Oh my God.
The last one is road.
Samantha, look at that, the last item, your favorite.
I know, is this a Teddy request?
No, this is a Jason request. So after talking with
Through Teddy.
after talking to the police chief over there in Bridgeton, they put in a lot of these speed signs. All they are the signs that go under the speed limit that flash if you're going too fast. They've seen a significant reduction in the amount of traffic-related violations and incidents in those areas where they've installed the signs. Since we don't have a police department, every problem either has a personnel solution or it's got a system solution. We don't have the personnel to monitor speeds. We only contract our sheriff during the summer months. My recommendation is buying a couple of these signs to go at either end of the causeway where it drops down to 25 miles an hour and coming off the 14, so that when people are traveling into that district, they have an additional, reminder of what the speed limit is.
So when you say either end of the causeway, on the umbrella factory side, where would the sign be?
So it'd be just,
Right at the 25-mile-an-hour sign.
yeah,
Where's the 25 miles an hour sign?
it's right after you come past Gary's.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
right after the barn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right after
It's
the
right
barn.
after the barn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't it?
No, it's not, it's up by Moose Landing.
up the hill.
Well, that's where they put it, but if you follow anything else, I mean, they,
That's
You
not
wanna
a
put
recommendation
a,
sign.
you wanna put a.
That's where they
you wanna put a-
unless you're following the car in front of you.
if you follow your Google Maps or
So-
anything like that, it still says.
That's why I was asking where the frickin' sign was gonna go.
With-
25 ahead.
So,
Yep, no, it would go right under the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit sign.
yeah, but they're asking which one do you want it under?
So it would be coming northbound, on the 302, up by by Moose Landing, and it would be coming southbound on the 302, right out, here, I think it's, what? Yeah, right past the fire station.
It's right here.
I just wanted to make sure there wasn't two more blinking signs on the causeway with all the other
That's-
blinkings.
I-
That's all I was
I
concerned
agree,
about.
I agree 110%,
Yeah.
Jim.
We got enough blinking signs on the causeway.
So again, it's a recommendation.
Can't that come out of tip though?
It can
No.
come. it-
No, why, no, absolutely not, no signs. No 17,500, you guys are crazy.
So, Mr. Chair,
Go ahead,
and
Colin.
Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, we used to have a sign that was just before the vets coming south on 302, that was a speed limit sign that flashed the number of speed that you were driving at. And it flashed if you were going over 35 or 25, whatever it was. It's not there anymore.
No, we have never had one there. It has been on a trailer that I move around. But we have
No,
never
there
had.
used to be, there was a 4x4 post in the ground, right around where the property we bought for 270 grand, just north of the vet. There was one stuck in the ground there
That
with
was,
a light on it.
that was that sign that's on the trailer, Colin.
Oh, so you moved it, put it on the trailer.
Originally, when we got that sign, that's where we stuck it for 3 months.
Yeah.
And then it got moved onto a trailer so we can move it around town and put it at
Got it.
different locations like Sand Road, because that's a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit, but everybody does 60.
So you wanna buy 3 of these?
So,
Yes.
my question is,
So,
go ahead,
Wait,
go
so-
Colin.
So, historically, and you can do research on these, most people try to break them. They want to see how high a number they can get on the friggin' thing.
They can be. Okay, so 2 different signs totally. That sign that you're talking
That
about.
must be your generation that does that.
That sign that you're talking
You
about,
didn't try to run
Colin,
by
I
it?
can program that sign, so if the speed limit's 35 miles an hour
See-
and 45 miles an hour the speed limit, that sign goes blank.
See Michelle right there, that's how I feel.
The signs that he
Just like
wants to
that.
put up only say the speed limit sign, or the speed limit itself. So they're a smaller sign, they go on, say, on the 25-mile-an-hour. It doesn't matter if you're doing 5 miles an hour or 35 miles an hour, that sign only flashes 25 miles an hour. It is not a radar speed sign.
We have spent
like it.
like $100,000 on lights that blink for crosswalks that people walk in between.
But if it saves
They-
one life, Samantha, I'm 100% for it. I'm sorry.
There becomes a point where the town takes on so much liability that we become at fault for the things that we don't do, because we're doing so many things for the things that we should not be doing.
I mean, I walk these sidewalks 6 nights a week, and the speed that people come through this town is sickening. Sickening, year round. I mean, sorry, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but people who walk the sidewalks too gotta feel safe. And when cars come through town doing 55 and you're walking right next to them, that's a little unsafe.
Well, I'm sorry, but something that blinks at night, that is extremely bright, is not gonna, I mean,
that's why-
we spent way too much money with Drummond over bright lights at Gary's, and now we're talking about consistent blinking lights all across the causeway.
So, and I'm not for blinking lights across the causeway, and I don't know if I agree 100%. I mean, if that's what they come back for studies that help that much, you know, but I've always said, even when I was select board, if one of those crossing signs save one life, it's worth it. because I've seen too many accidents that almost happened, that could have happened, when people pop out trying to cross that road on the causeway.
But people aren't using them. They're,
A
it's just.
lot of them are not, but a lot of them are. You're wrong about that. A lot of them are using them.
Becomes a waste.
Well,
I'd like to say one thing, and this is from being your maintenance director, whatever. Safety on these roads is my number one thing, believe it or not. But it stems, totally agree with Bob, any instrument that will help. But at some point, we get too much, and it boils down to, we have to have enforcement.
of course.
And we don't have enforcement. Lately, I will say, for some reason over the last week or so, they've been a little bit more strenuous, but over the last few years, we actually were in a meeting, and it was told to us that they will not write a ticket unless they're going 15 miles an hour over the speed limit, because the DA will throw it out. Well, that tells you can do 40 miles an hour across causeway before enforcement is taken.
Colin, go ahead.
I got two comments. First one, I guess is a question. That's a state road. We can't put tabletops in, right?
Correct, cannot. We've already asked when
Correct.
Jim and I were on the select board.
Right. Correct. It's a federal highway. You can't do that on a federal highway.
Okay. And then my second one is, I make a motion to adjourn at 8:57.
Thank you.
Amen.
Jeez.
So we'll set next
You're
meeting,
about an hour too late on that, by the way.
next Wednesday, 6 o'clock on the 10th to vote on all these changes. Motion's made to adjourn. I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
By the way, next week's the 5th, not the 10th.
The 5th. I apologize. Next week is the 5th. Yes.
Oh, gee, what-
Wednesday, the 5th, 6 o'clock right here. Thank you.